Hey yo, what's poppin'? We back. Man, we gotta talk about it. I'm just getting a little snack. Listen, shout out to all my people, channel members, shooters, fans. Appreciate you. Smash the like button. See, Real Brother said it. He said notifications are back working. You see how within the first minute, when YouTube actually does what it's supposed to be doing and sending notifications, you see how many people commented initially. That's how I know it's YouTube not be sending. They don't be sending out the notifications, because certain streams it'd be 6 minutes in, 5 minutes in, and nobody got a notification. So there's nobody even leaving a comment. YouTube got to figure out that algorithm or whatever they trying to do. But yeah, man, we just working. I'm about to snap into the Slim Jim. We're going to jump right into it. Snap into the Slim Jim. That was a dope ass live stream. Yeah, we had fun. FYI, this tastes like shit. Something told me not to get it. Look at this, y'all. I got that yaki. I got the teriyaki flavored Slim. I was like, oh, I never had that. This shit tastes like shit. Let me try another bite. This tastes like shit. Hey, bro. I see why Macho Man was yelling and shit in the commercial. Oh yeah, this shit. Oh yeah, this shit tastes horrible. Teriyaki Slim Jim. I don't even know why my dumbass even bought that. That tastes pretty shitty. That shit tastes wet too. I'm gonna throw up, bro. Actually, I don't really throw up ever. I rarely throw up. I don't throw up from food. My stomach is clutch. My shit don't be. It's like a piece of iron. That tastes like shit though. I don't know why. What possessed me? I was like, ooh. See, let this be a lesson to Ego's Army. Stick to what you know, because the regular Slim Jims, I like them. Even like they got the mild and the Tabasco and all that. That should be alright. Okay, those flavors, the original, mild, Tabasco. But you gotta draw the line at Tabasco. That tastes like shit. Y'all want some of this? Y'all can chew from the bottom. This shit horrible, bro. This tastes like ass. This tastes like the dipping stick. You know when you lift the hood of your car and you go to check the oil and you take that little dipstick out to. This shit horrible, bro. Man, I'm hungry too. That pissed me off. I threw up at a fight night once. Food poisoning in Thailand. Oh, you was in Thailand. You was eating that sour rungvisai, that rat. Sour rungvisai, mama cooked you some fricasseed rat. That rat sour rungvisai I was eating was stretched out. You was eating that rat. Oh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim. All right. New media. See, they gonna get mad because I keep saying, listen, every stream I keep saying I told y'all so, because I did tell y'all so. Yeah, I like when Danny hopping on ropes. He was like, I'm back. I'm back. I like that. But listen. Hold on, let me get my water. See, people gonna get mad at new media. He said the rat burger from Demolition Man. Hey, yo, so I'm eating rat. They're like, you see any cows, motherfucker? Oh, yeah, this is a rat burger. You didn't know they use the 3C show. Hey, boo-boo, this is Adrian. I'm eating the fucking rat. Hey, this burger's still kind of good. A little bit of cheese. All right, let's talk about it. I'm ready. That Stallone is on point, my G. Let me tell you something you already know, kid. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean and cruel place, and it'll beat you there if you let it. Nothing is gonna get drag up. Yeah, that's how Stallone be. Hey yo Mick, yo Adrian, what do you mean? Apollo Creed, It's over, Rock. Ya bum rock. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was a bitch. Hey, Stallone and Creed was striking on that beat. They was running. Motherfuckers was running. You have an incredible wife, but I hope she makes you steak. I don't know what's going on. Ego's trying to wash that Slim Jim taste out. Bro, that shit, please. See, and you know what? This generation, they gonna fuck around and get the teriyaki flavor. Even though I'm telling you it's nasty, there's gonna be one motherfucker watching my stream. That shit ain't that nasty, bad. And they gonna order this shit. Yeah. Ew, this shit, he was right, bruh. I promise you. There's gonna be one motherfucker that don't believe you. You know, like if you get a Windex, you know what I'm saying? You know the Windex bottles? And it has that little square on the nozzle. And it says off, on, spray, or whatever. And if you put it like halfway, the shit just explodes. And everybody gets sprayed up and wet up. And y'all motherfuckers were like, oh yeah, I don't believe it. And then, all right, do it. Get a Windex bottle. And that little red turn nozzle, it says spray, off, on, and all that, mist and all that. Put it where it's like diagonal, and then squirt it. That shit just everything just everywhere. That's like the kamikaze setting. Everybody get blowed up. Ego, when you go to Houston, make sure you visit Buc-ee's. Okay. I fuck with Texas. Texas fuck with me though. Listen, let's get it. Texas got some food, bro. Texas, they say everything bigger in Texas. Your ass gonna be bigger after you leave because they got delicious food, bro. Like dudes be like Nelly. Like, girl, I think my butt getting big. It's getting hotter. That shit. Texas will fill you up. They give you like ridiculous portions and shit. I'm like, yeah, give me a side of mashed potato. Like, damn. Potato salad portion, big as fuck. They give you like a bowl. Like, damn, I didn't ask for all this. They give you these big ass Fred Flintstone ass portions. They just put like a brontosaurus rib on the plate and shit. Listen, they gonna get mad at us because new media keep kicking ass and taking names. I keep doing these videos, keep saying my 2 cents, and we keep getting it right. Bob Arum, what he did, I told you I didn't agree with. You know what I'm saying? I told you I didn't agree with him, you know, wasting airtime on his pay-per-view for a fight that ended in a lackluster way because pretty much Amir Khan quit, you know, from my perspective. And using that precious, like, real estate and airtime to go in on Al Heyman and then later add on to it and say Al Heyman don't want to work with nobody or he doesn't want to work with us. He's going to convince Errol Spence to not make the Crawford fight next because don't listen to the white guys. That's what Arum said. He says, he's going to convince Spence not to work with the white promoter. Like, what is this even coming from, bro? Now, it emerged some other stuff that he said. And guess what? Like I told you, old media is rapidly becoming a dying breed. The stuff I am saying, I'm pointing out, the world gets to see. The great thing is, I'm constantly telling you guys and judging and analyzing boxing from the most purest of places where I really believe the stuff that I'm saying. You know, I'm not capping, you know. Like Nipsey Hussle said in his song. He said, everything I said I meant, I was never capping. Like, everything I said I meant, I was never capping. Like, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this to, like, I don't believe it. And you guys see it. Every single time you guys see it. After I say these things, more often than not, recently especially, we keep seeing more indications that what I said was closer to the truth or dead dab smack on than off the mark and way off the mark. I told you. Remember when I know I got my day ones in here. Real brother, somebody. Did you guys hear me in regards to Bob Arum ranting about, Al Heyman and, Crawford and Spence next, and he's going to call Al Heyman and doing this whole public facade or whatever? Did you guys hear me say, Spence, okay, that's a great fight, Spence Crawford, but what about the rest of the PBC guys? Like, why is it Spence or bust? Why can't it be Spence versus one of the other top level welterweights? Who heard me ask this question? And I was like, if you think about it, that doesn't make sense. Like, clearly Spence Crawford is the perceived best fight. I get that. But if PBC has their own plan for Errol Spence and they're already in negotiation with Porter, right? Then what about considering someone else? Because clearly, this is exactly what I said. I said because clearly there's still guys that are on PBC outside of Spence that would be better fights than any fight I could think of that makes sense, that's at 147, that's an in-house Terence Crawford fight. So who heard me say that? Why is it Errol Spence or bust? Why is it Bud fighting Spence on PBC, working with PBC only to make that fight only or nothing? Who heard me say that? No, we just gonna test. We just gonna test this. Who heard me say that? I say I got some questions with that. Real brother, exactly. He said, you said why not another PBC guy, another PBC fighter outside of Spence Jr.? He says, Kane the bad guy. I remember you said it. The Real Ghost says, I heard it. Randy Ridley says, me. Real brother says, you said it multiple times. Exactly. Lamar Gujas, once again, I'm not controlling people. They're voting and telling you they recall that. And see, the great thing about YouTube as a platform, this is like a diary. This is documented. So even if nobody remembered me saying it, the video's still up recently, so we could find where I said it, He said, bro, you are ego dominus. Man, this shit's getting easier. So fast forward to modern day. This is what Bob Arum says. That was my question. This is what Bob Arum says. And I didn't even know this at the time. I didn't know this until right before I decided to do this video. Right? This is what Arum says after the Crawford Khan fight. Quote, a lot of guys that we're interested in fighting, like Kell Brook. He has said he wants to fight Terence Crawford. And that'd be fun. I mean, the other guys that Al Heyman has, I'm not really interested in. Sean Porter isn't a real fight for Crawford. Danny Garcia is not a real fight for Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman is not a real fight for Crawford. The fight that's a real fight is Spence. End quote. Bob Arum he's officially capping. He's officially capping. Listen and break down and internalize and interpret what he said. He just said on record to reporters and people post-fight that every other fight on PBC is not good enough for Terence Crawford because they aren't real fights. But he validated Kell Brook, even though a PBC guy beat him and Sean Porter fought him. And, some people might have even thought Sean Porter beat Kell Brook. I don't remember, but Kell Brook got the victory there. None of those PBC fights are even good enough because they, quote, aren't real fights. They're not good enough for Terence Crawford, only Spence. But you're entertaining the idea of Kell Brook, who got stopped twice by Golovkin at 160, got beat down by Errol Spence, and didn't really even look good in his last fight versus a stripper, Michael Zarafa. He is officially capping. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You cannot discount Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and say all those fights are bullshit fights for Crawford. You know, even Mikey Garcia for Crawford. You can't say all of that, all these other PBC fights are whack. Only Errol Spence. So, it's like I've been telling you, this is capping. This is clout chasing at its finest. You know the Spence fight ain't happening next. That's why you don't care to make any of these other fights, which would be better fights. You just need a scapegoat or whatever reason you're doing this. But that's ridiculous. Danny Garcia looked great versus a guy who's hard to look great against in Adrian Granados. Broner didn't look. He was in a competitive fight. Sean Porter was in a competitive fight, right? Danny Garcia has a killer resume. Danny Garcia, actually, I love Terence Crawford. None of what I'm saying is really about Terence Crawford because I know he's a dog and I think he will fight anybody. This is his management. This is his people saying this. But Danny Garcia, if you really think about it, his resume from start to finish or start to present day is probably better than Crawford, in terms of pure resume. I'm not talking about skill because, like I said, I think Crawford is pound for pound number one. But if we're going bar for bar, resume, not including wins or losses, Danny has fought the bigger names. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? So for Bob Arum to discount every other PBC fighter outside of Errol Spence at 147 lets me know that he's not as eager to work with Al Heyman to make it. Especially since you just openly said Kell Brook would be a fun fight for Terence Crawford. So you're all in for Kell Brook, who didn't even look good, but you want to work with Al Heyman so bad, but only for Spence. I can't believe that. I can't rock with that. I can't subscribe to that. That doesn't give me any confidence that you really want to work with Al Heyman like you're saying. Nobody else is good enough. What about Pacquiao? You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is good enough for Crawford. And the other reason I know he's capping is this. All these guys we just mentioned would probably be favored and or beat the other guys Terence Crawford just fought. Sean Porter versus Amir Khan. Who would you favor? Stylistically, Sean Porter is rugged. He's rough. See, his last fight, he didn't look necessarily great, but he was in there with a tall boxer. You know what I'm saying? He was in there with the tall bro. That's harder because, he's in a Cuban counterpuncher. Khan succumbs to pressure. Jose Benavidez, Jeff Horn. Who would you pick? You would pick Jeff Horn to beat Danny Garcia? Would Danny Garcia, what he's showed you throughout his career, his counterpunching ability, and the fact that Jeff Horn's kind of wild, Would you pick Keith Thurman to lose to Jose Benavidez? Stop it. You get what I'm saying? Like, stop it. I'm not saying some of these fights wouldn't be competitive at all, but I would have to imagine all those PBC guys would be the favorites in those matchups. Danny Garcia versus Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman versus Jeff Horn, Sean Porter versus Jeff Horn. I would have to imagine all the PBC guys would be the favorite over Jeff Horn. And probably the same thing for, Jose Benavidez and Amir Khan. I mean, Amir Khan already got knocked out by Danny Garcia. So it doesn't even make sense what Arum is saying. Danny Garcia is not a real fight, but you fought a guy that got knocked the fuck out by Danny Garcia just now and charged $70. See, once again, old media is now collapsing and succumbing to pressure because before they could just say anything. Nobody would check it. Nobody would check for consistency. People were afraid or like, oh, I might not get credentials or this fighter might be mad or whatever the situation was. I don't want to. I'm 1,000% neutral. Man, I'm neutral, but I'm neutral for truth. I'm neutral. I don't have a problem with any of these fighters. I don't have a problem with any of these promoters, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie and pretend I don't see, turn a blind eye like I don't see what's going on. So if that's what getting a credential or doing an exclusive interview with someone entails, me being a liar, then count me out. I don't need that. I can make money doing this just like this, and go to other fights where I'm appreciated If it's not about being real and motherfuckers just say whatever they want and there's no one can challenge it, then I go to the other events then, because this is it's madness. Horn did beat Pac-Man. I thought Pac-Man won, and I said that post-fight. So I mean, yeah, he won according to the judges, but it wasn't that to me. It wasn't super impressive. So to me, Bob Arum is officially capping because it doesn't. Make sure you smash the like button, people. We got to get these likes up. If you guys like these live streams where I get to interact and be hands-on and smash the like button. But yeah, he's capping, bro. There's no other justification because you can't say Kell Brook is a fun fight, but just discount every other PBC guy outside of Errol Spence. And this is not even the first time he did it. He did it after the Jose Benavidez fight. That's not how it works. All these other, like Mean Machine or Danny Garcia, Mean Machine or Keith Thurman, they were talking about Collazo and Crawford. So that's cool, but who would say, oh, I'd rather see Collazo over Danny Garcia? It doesn't even make sense. Like I said, you just did a whole ass pay-per-view. It ended funkily, it ended funky, and you put Amir Khan in there, who was getting dog walked and ended up quitting to me, and he been knocked the fuck out by Danny Garcia. And if he fought Keith Thurman or if he fought Sean Porter, I think people would probably feel that they would have the edge over him too. I mean, who at this point would pick, like, coming off the Samuel Vargas fight, if Keith Thurman were to fight if Keith Thurman were to fight Khan, who would favor Khan? You know what I'm saying? So how you going to say Danny Garcia is not a real fight, yet Danny Garcia knocked out Khan, and that's who you just fought? None of this stuff makes sense. Old media, they could try and all that, but it doesn't. Jose de Jesus. So Bob Arum doesn't think that Crawford unifying versus Thurman. Oh, I forgot about that angle. Oh my God. See, this is a beautiful thing, people. See, because sometimes I'm making the points that I'm thinking of, and I don't get to, I might not be thinking about another point. But then I always can turn to my shooters, channel members, and the Eagles Army to follow up with some greatness. Give it up to my man, Jose de Jesus. We need some clap emojis. This is what it's all about. Real boxing content, real boxing dialogue, logical points that make sense, that can be substantiated. We need some clap emojis for Jose de Jesus. He's holding it down in the shooter arena, and he's leaving great comments. Great add-on. So Bob Arum doesn't think that Terence Crawford unifying with Keith Thurman, who's the super WBA champion, won't help his case to make a 50-50 fight. That's another great. That's a huge point, bro. Awesome stuff. That's another angle. Keith Thurman isn't a real fight, but he's a champion. So who are you to say he's not a real fight? Khan comes into the fight beltless. Khan comes in with like the least of all their. Danny Garcia has a fucking chin. He ain't never. I don't even remember when he was dropped. So Danny Garcia knocked out Amir Khan and got a fucking chin. That's not a real fight. Here's another fun fact. See, I know too much about boxing. I know too much about this game. You're not finna take new media out. Danny Garcia beat Terence Crawford one time in the amateurs, and Terence Crawford beat Danny Garcia one time in the amateurs. So guess what? They're 1-1 as amateurs. Now, if they fought as pros, we would see basically a rubber match. So it would kind of be like Dillian White versus AJ. Dillian beat him in the amateurs. AJ beat him in the pros, so a rematch would kind of be the tiebreaker. It'd be the same kind of concept. So it has a backstory and everything. Hey, why did you block someone for saying ego? Hey, you should unblock him. If all he said was ego, I don't see why he got blocked, to be honest. Danny has the perfect style to face Crawford. He doesn't waste punches and he's precise. And he's a good size for a welterweight. He has power. Crawford's more obviously quicker. Shit like that. Powerful. It's a good fight, you know. See, this is the thing. Don't let this take you down a rabbit hole. I don't even care who you would pick. If you think Crawford could beat Thurman, if you think Crawford beats Porter, if you think Crawford could beat Garcia, that's not even what this is about. So please don't go down some weird rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland. Go down this weird rabbit hole giving fight predictions on who you think would win. Because ultimately, it's not about who you think would win. It's about showing and proving. So that's cool. If you favor Crawford in all those PBC fights, that's great. We still got to see him, though. You guys beat Bud in the amateurs as well. I didn't know that. I knew Ray Robinson beat him. I didn't know anything about you guys beat him. I didn't know that, if that's even true. But yeah, Danny has a chin. He has heart. He has a crazy left hook. He looked good in his last performance. And Bob Arum just discounted and you know, basically said none of those would work. Bob is capping. It's official. Very official. Because first of all, see, and this is what happened. This is what I was saying. Sometimes you have rich people, you know, they get in these positions and then they have a hissy fit when things don't go their way. You know, they're used to money, you know, buying them things and, you know, affording them opportunities and stuff. And when they don't have the complete control and power, they don't know what to say or do or whatever. Listen, Bob Arum is a great promoter, been in the game. People respect him for that. That's cool. Right? Just find it funny that Ego was talking like he ain't going to take money to push any narratives when the fact he knows he was drinking Wilder Kool-Aid. Okay, block this dude. Okay, Icy, you were right. Block Kale. Block him. I don't care what you're talking about. Hey, you were right, Icy. All I seen him put is Ego, and you correctly block. You got him dead on. Y'all are good. Shooters is good. All I seen was he said Ego, but you clearly blocked the right person because he came back talking stupid. So good job to Icy. He said, I told you, bro, he was stupid. Hey, I'm a man. You was right. Icy the one. I tried to let him live, and then he came back talking stupid again, so you must have seen something I didn't. Ooh, these shooters is good, I told y'all. Block Tyson Fury outboxes Jesus Christ. We're not going to disrespect nobody like that, you know. Stupid-ass names like that, you know, names can get it too. Tyson Fury outboxes Jesus Christ, block him. I don't even want someone with no stupid-ass name like that in my comment section. Thank you, guys. Ego is boxing. I wish he could be the commentary for big fights on pay-per-view, ESPN, DAZN, and Showtime. Shout out to Esteban. We appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, it makes no sense for Bob Arum to write off all those PBC guys because at the end of the day, let's vote. Would you rather see Danny Garcia or Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford? Danny Garcia versus Terence Crawford next on pay-per-view, or would you rather pay pay-per-view for Kell Brook and Terence Crawford? Let's vote. Put Brook or Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford on pay-per-view. Who would you be more inclined to spend $70 on? Julio says Danny. Jose de Jesus says Danny. Ray Jackson says Danny easy. James Souza says Garcia. Duo Production says Danny. Yincy says Danny. Danny Garcia, Garcia and D, Garcia, Danny. Michael Soto says Kell Brook. Danny for Crawford. Garcia, Danny. Brook, Danny Garcia. Porter, Danny. Brook, Danny. Garcia, not. Look, they voting. I'm definitely seeing more Dannys. And I don't know how many people are voting twice and shit. Brook can bang. Yeah, but he didn't look so good in his last fight. And he also got stopped by Errol Spence. and Triple G. Danny Garcia got stopped by nobody. So I agree with the people that voted Danny Garcia. Yeah, and he don't have fragile eye, eye damage. I'm not really interested in. I mean, the Kell Brook Terence Crawford, it's not horrible, but it's based on how Brook looked, it's not what it would have been like when Brook was undefeated welterweight. I'll tell you that. But there's no way you could convince me that. Okay, Keith Thurman versus Mean Machine. Who would you rather see? Keith Thurman versus Mean Machine, or Mean Machine versus Crawford? Keith Thurman or Mean Machine from Lithuania? Good point about the eye problem with Brook. Exactly. Keith, Crawford need to go with Al Heyman, Thurman. That's what I'm saying, bro. We already know what that one would be. He said Mean Machine. That's what I'm saying, bro. So there was a couple of people that picked Brook. For the most part, you've seen how many people picked Garcia. He definitely won that, brief poll. But the bottom line is this. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get these rich people, and then they start feeling entitled and stuff. Bob Arum is not. He don't run boxing. Like, you align with ESPN, big network. He been doing his thing with Top Rank for 40, 50 years, whatever. That's dope. But you don't hold all the cards. So how you going beggars can't be choosers. You get what I'm saying? Beggars can't be choosers. You don't have any top welterweight outside of Crawford. So how you going write off 4 other qualified, some being champions like Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, both champions. You wrote all them off to only go after one other champion? Stop it. You don't have the position. Like, this, I don't know what Bob is doing with them statements. It just doesn't make sense. How are you going to demand Spence and then try to convince the public? The public is not going to fall for that. Top Rank offered Danny Garcia $3 million to fight Bud. That's the first problem. Danny Garcia makes more money than that. Why the fuck are you going to fight on ESPN for a paycheck that he could get on PBC? Danny has made millions in this game. Why would he take $3 million and go fight on someone's opposing network? You got to raise that price up. That sounds crazy. Why would Danny Garcia, for a similar paycheck, a similar paycheck that he's already gotten, he got like $2 million versus Thurman, and who knows if he got like some type of back end or sponsorship money or some, some shit. Why would he fight on a whole nother, so his loyalties, like, and his relationships with all his people, PBC and Showtime and whatever, Fox and all this. And he just turned his back to all that for an extra $1 million than what he got for Keith Thurman to go fight and help someone else's network. Come on, bro. Ardmore, $2 super chat. Arum stable isn't big enough to call shots. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Crawford is dope. Crawford is skilled. Crawford is a man. He's a beast, But you're not in a position where you hold that, like, you need the PBC welterweights. That's what I'm saying. It don't make sense. I get it. I could, like, see, this is the thing. People got to understand this. Shout out to Boss Red, $5 super chat. We gonna dissect this shit. Bud, my dude, and a great boxer, but Khan looked bad against a journeyman in his fight before Bud, so that's not a big win to me. He did, and Errol Spence stopped that guy, and Danny Garcia stopped that guy too. See, y'all, man, y'all gotta know boxing. You gotta know boxing to keep up. Danny Garcia stopped Samuel Vargas, who knocked down Khan, just like Terence Crawford knocked him down. But the difference is the fight went the full distance and he lost. Me personally, I still seen Crawford's skill set So I give him credit for it because he made Khan quit, and nobody has done that. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to draw enough conclusions from the few rounds they did have to know that Crawford's a beast, on top of what I already knew about Crawford. So I give him credit. But again, Danny Garcia been knocked out Amir Khan. Crawford didn't even get the knockout because Khan ended up quitting. So how can Bob Arum say Danny's not worthy, or Danny don't deserve the fight, or he's not someone we're looking at, and you just fought Khan, who got knocked out by Danny? It doesn't make any sense, people. And like I said, beggars can't be choosers. Unless you're in a position where you could put Crawford in with a better opponent without working with alternative PBC guys, then I don't see what we're talking about. How you, just in case you guys are just joining us, we dissecting this very subject. In case you guys are just joining us, let's go. So, Bob Arum, after the Crawford Khan, says, a lot of guys that we're interested in fighting, like Kell Brook. Kell Brook said he wanted to fight Terence, and that'd be a fun fight. I mean, the other guys that Al Heyman has, I'm not really interested in. Sean Porter isn't a real fight for Crawford. Danny Garcia is not a real fight for Crawford. Keith Thurman isn't a real fight for Crawford. The fight that's a real fight is Errol Spence. That makes no sense. Bob is losing the battle here. He's losing the battle. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care who's mad. He's losing the battle. Because, again, you just put Danny doesn't make sense and is not a real fight, but Danny holds a win that was never avenged by Amir Khan. He holds a win, a knockout win over Amir Khan years ago when Khan was the man at 140. Danny was the underdog in that fight. And you're saying that Danny don't make no sense, and he's a former champion with a great resume for his age. It doesn't. There's no way you can make that make sense. But you were comfortable putting Amir Khan in there, who we all know. Danny has never been stopped. Danny has never been knocked down or dropped that I remember. Now, at least not in his high-profile fight. Even big punchers like Lucas Matisse and Keith Thurman, they clipped him, but they didn't drop him. So you were content charging $70 to put Khan in there, knowing Khan's history of getting dropped and been stopped a couple times. But Danny's not worthy. There's no way you can make that make sense. So he's just saying whatever. He's capping. There's no way. And see, that's why I'm telling you, it's misdirection tactics. He knows he's not getting Spence next because we know that Spence is likely to fight Porter. So he's using this to try to play off the emotions of fans, rile up fans, right, and get everyone angry so they could point the finger. But this is not 5-6 years ago where the internet is you have more channels than ever talking and reviewing and interviewing and making commentary videos. It's a different place. It's a whole different world. So you can't get away, especially with new media. We're at our pinnacle. We're at the peak. The voice is getting louder and bigger, getting recognized by fighters and fans galore, and the message is getting louder. So it just doesn't matter. There's nothing that can be said. Again, this is not a knock on Crawford. He's not the one saying the craziness. I think would fight Danny. I think he'll fight Spence. Blah blah blah. But you can't write off every other PBC guy when they have all those top guys. From Pacquiao to Danny Garcia to Keith Thurman, to Sean Porter, to you guys, and say all those are trash, but you gave us Amir Khan on pay-per-view. You gave us Jose Benavidez, and people made an excuse about his leg because he got shot. You gave us Jeff Horn, and I thought Pacquiao beat him. None of this makes sense. I don't care what anyone says. I know you're not going to make that make sense. So Pacquiao Crawford, that's a good fight. Make it. Why don't you work with Al Heyman on that? That's what people have been clamoring for that for years. Crawford won it. It's a good fight. And Pacquiao really beat Jeff Horn to me. Danny Garcia, he knocked out Khan. How are you comfortable making Khan on pay-per-view with Crawford? But Horn beat Pacquiao. I thought he really lost the fight. But, you know, if you want to hold your head off of that win, and that was a spectacular win to you, then, you know, enjoy it. But either way, Pacquiao's a legend. And Pacquiao does more for Crawford. A win for Crawford, a Pacquiao win does more for his career than Mean Machine or Luis Collazo or, you know, somebody like that. See, you guys get focused. You get focused and fixated on the most minuscule and minute of points. I don't care about any one of those particular fights. The whole point is this: all of them are better than majority of the options that Top Rank has in-house. Period. You could say with that, oh yeah, but this is what you see. You guys like to focus and nitpick on one aspect of one fall, but Pacquiao, he lost to Jeff. Who cares? Pacquiao's probably not going to be available for Crawford anyway because he's probably fighting Keith Thurman. It's not about any one fight. The whole thing is about what Bob Arum is saying, and he's discounting and writing off every other fighter versus Spence. You don't want to do business. That's that. You do not want to do business with Al Heyman if you're only willing to work with one guy and one guy only. You're not in a position of power in that respect, in that situation, and you beggars can't be choosers, and you're saying fuck their plans for Errol Spence. I don't care if they're in negotiations. We want Spence, and that's all we want. You're not in that position. How you going to dictate anything and you're not in that position? So to me, the reasonable thing would be to just establish a working relationship for a big fight with Al Heyman. Be it Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, all those are better fights than Mean Machine and, you know, Collazo, because they at least have a big name. Guys with big names, maybe one or two losses with big names, bigger money, you know, durable guys. Mikey Garcia didn't get knocked out by Spence, so even if Mikey Garcia fought Crawford, I'd be interested. Plus, they fought as amateurs. Danny Garcia has history. Danny Garcia beat Crawford once as an amateur, and Crawford beat Danny Garcia once as an amateur. So, really, Danny Garcia and Crawford are 1-1. That's fact. I talked to Bomac about this. So, that already has a better backstory than, you know, Collazo. Collazo's Puerto Rican, Danny Garcia's Puerto Rican. And Danny Garcia has less losses than Collazo. Collazo's my man. That's my dude. You know, if they give him opportunity, shout out to him. But I'm just going fact for fact. So there's really no justification for, you know, and once again, old media continually does this where they pretty much put their foot in their mouth and expect people to forget. Now the pressure is on. See, they inadvertently are putting pressure on Crawford more than they're putting pressure on Al Heyman. Al Heyman has to just keep doing what he's doing, putting high-profile matches up that fans pay for and are willing to pay for, and then he's winning. They're putting pressure on Crawford because now if you tell me that Danny Garcia don't make sense for Crawford, Keith Thurman, who Terence Crawford called out, and I have a video of it, Terence Crawford called out Keith Thurman, you know, and he's still undefeated and never lost and has a belt. You're saying fights like this make no sense. So a unification don't make sense with the undefeated Keith Thurman. This is lunacy. You know, Sean Porter, who has a belt now, that doesn't make sense. You know, none of these guys are worthy. So they put pressure on themselves. The pressure is going to be on them because if Crawford ends up fighting Mean Machine next, or Jose Benavidez 2, or, you know, Jeff Horn 2, or, you know, Castillo or some shit, they're going to be like, wait. He fighting Clayton Castillo or, you know, some ranked guy from, you know, Bucharest. But you said Danny Garcia was a horrible fight. Oh, he's fighting Kell Brook. But he couldn't fight these other PBC guys who have had better recent performances. Kell Brook is in between two divisions. Kell Brook is 2 for 2 in his last fights. He fought Michael Zarafa, and he fought his sparring partner. I forgot the dude's name. That's how irrelevant it was to me. And then before that, he lost twice to Errol Spence. He ain't even been active like that. He was supposed to fight on the on the undercard of a big fight. I forgot which fight it was. Last year, he's supposed to fight Brandon Cook. He pulled out with injury. So I wouldn't. And Errol Spence stopped him. Kell Brook versus Crawford. It's not horrible, but it's not. Me personally, I'm just telling you me. With Kell Brook's inactivity and pulling out of fights, with Kell Brook's 2 damaged eyes and stoppage losses, with Kell Brook lying and saying, I can't make 47 comfortably, I'm going up to 54. And then when Jermell Charlo and Jared Swift-Hurd was saying, hey, we want to fight Kell Brook, then now he all of a sudden can make 147 again. Me personally, I would rather see Danny Garcia versus Terence Crawford. And Randy Ridley, exactly. One word, interesting. Yeah, interesting. That don't mean he gonna win or has a chance to win, bro. And on top of that, Kell Brook didn't even look good in his last performance. I don't know how many of y'all really actually watch boxing, but Danny Garcia looked sharp as shit versus Adrian Granados, who is not the easiest guy to look good with. Kell Brook, if you watch boxing, fought a guy who's a Chippendale stripper who got knocked the fuck out by Peter Quillen, Michael Zarafa, and he looked bad in that fight. So once again, Crawford would be, if he fights Kell Brook, he would be fighting another person who fought under subpar competition, and didn't look good in his fight leading up to Crawford. Crawford has skills. It is what it is. But Amir Khan fought Samuel Vargas, and he didn't look good. And he got dropped and hurt in the 11th round or something, on top of being dropped early. He did drop Samuel Vargas, but Samuel Vargas got stopped by Danny Garcia. Samuel Vargas got stopped by Errol Spence, PBC guys. I know my boxing. Same thing with Kell Brook. Quillen stopped Michael Zarafa. Kell Brook fought him and didn't look good. Even the UK commentators were saying how Kell Brook might not be the same. You know how hard that is? Because no offense to the UK, but the commentary be trash sometimes. The commentary be so horrifically biased that, they always try to find the light at the end of the tunnel, the glass half full type thing, right? And they were even saying, go watch the Sky Sports telecast. They were even saying how bad Kell Brook lost. And like I said, a lot of the UK commentators, if you're doing all right, they'll boost it up. Massive right. Massive. He hit the Dasa so much. Commiserate. They're going to boost it up. They were talking about how Kell Brook didn't even look good. The UK commentaries. So that's how you know he didn't look good. So y'all going off of the sharp Kell Brook when he was undefeated, but we don't know if he's the same fighter. We don't know, because he didn't look good. We can only judge boxing. What have you done for me lately? In his last performance, he didn't look great. Danny Garcia looked 10 times, 1,000 times better with better competition than Kell Brook looked in his last fight. That's fact. So, it's funny. This goes to show you the politics and the bullshit. Arum is saying Kell Brook would be a fun fight, but all these other PBC guys make no sense. Like, come on, man. No one else makes sense but Kell Brook. So, again, in my honest opinion, beggars can't be choosers. If you don't have all the, if PBC is not giving, see, in Arum's mind, he's used to having all the power. He's used to having a deep welterweight stable and, guys like Pacquiao. Now he has a guy like Crawford who's, might be a generational fighter, highly ranked. He don't have no one to feed him to. He don't have no one to feed to him, I guess you could say. He doesn't have nobody. So he's angry and lashing out. And then, this is not a slight to Crawford, but Crawford, the way his last fight ended, I haven't heard the ESPN pay-per-view numbers yet. But the way it ended, it didn't leave a pleasant taste in people's mouth. Not due to Brooks, not due to Crawford, but it's still your event. So I don't feel like that did Crawford any favors because he wasn't able to have a traditional victory. He even said on Twitter, Crawford said, this is not the ending we both wanted, but props to Khan for, stepping to the plate, coming to the table. So he's admitting that this is not the type of it. That's common sense. Nobody want to end like that. Hey, shooters, police the comment section. I'm not worried about these clowns. Unable to see what happens is when it's not going their way, they try to change the narrative, but it's not going to work here. They're trying to get people riled up based on the emotion and the need and necessity for big fights. And I get it. I'm not saying Crawford and Spence shouldn't fight ever. I'm not saying that. But nobody here's the thing. This is the politics that we have to endure. PBC is trying to make Errol Spence one of the marquee names, possibly next Floyd's, that are signed with PBC. They have the means to do it in-house. He could collect belts, get respect, sell out events, build up his rep, build up his belt catalog and collection and trophies, and maybe get some knockouts or knockdown performances, or he could show the world what he's about. Like, he can arrive, if you will, and collect belts in the process and unify, all in-house. Then if he knocks out Pacquiao or something, wow. Bob Arum is aware of this. So every promoter has a certain course for whatever fighter. So Bob Arum is having a hissy fit because he can't have his way. He needs to probably deliver a big fight to ESPN, and he's like, oh, I want that and I want it now. But they have a plan for what they're doing. They're trying to build up their guy and to make sure when he does fight Crawford, not that he's scared, but there's no doubt in anybody's mind who's the A side. That's what I think is going on. Strategy, chess move, and he don't like it. It's just like football. I'm the king of analogies. Y'all got to like the like button. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. I'm gonna break this down. I'm not going to be threatened by you. I don't give a damn. Go to hell before your sorry ass new ego. I was one of his earliest subscriptions. Go to hell. I don't even know what that's about, bro. Y'all wilding in the comment section. He said go to hell. If y'all want to hear this point, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? All right. PBC building their asset. Block Arturo Gonzalez right now. Arturo Gonzalez. You don't have to worry about it no more. Every time they play game, we going to play the same game you playing. You want to be childish, we going to be childish. Yeah, I got this off Amazon, bro. This is I could drink one. If I drank 1.5, that's a gallon. This is like 2.5 liter or something. How many liters? Yeah, 2.5 liters. Shout out to Amazon. Oh my gosh. This shit dope. I like this because it's an easy, simple top, you see? Some of them, the top be all fucked up and you got a mouth on the spout and shit. Like, I just like nice, simple, easy top. It's clear. I like the color, all that. Okay, y'all said hell yeah. Let's get it. He said, I don't give a fuck how old you are. I don't know what y'all talking about. Smash the like button, people. Bob Arum is not the one who has the deep welterweight pool. And like I said, how you gonna tell PBC how to build their guy when they're building him with meaningful fights that are unifications, things like that. Shout out to Boxing Creed 215. Excellent consistency and all-out growth. Ego 100. Pause. I appreciate you. How you gonna get mad because they're building up Crawford in a meaningful way that makes him into a star? Because you're trying to intercept that and get him right now before it becomes evident. Because right now, if they just listen to it, just listen to what I'm saying. Right now, if Crawford and Spence were to negotiate based on what they accomplished and belts owned by each, they both got one belt. So Crawford can demand X amount of money. Bob Arum's going to demand that ESPN is cut in. So it's going to be an ESPN Showtime type of deal. But he's mad because he's almost like frozen out because he don't have no top welterweights for Crawford. So he wants to deliver a big ESPN fight, you know, whether it's a joint promotion or have Spence go over to ESPN type shit, right? But the way PBC is doing it, they're doing it their way, and he could rack up the belts by facing them and become a bigger American star. So when he does face Crawford, there's nothing that Top Rank will be able to say that Crawford has done this, and that, so he's a bigger star. The only thing you would say is Crawford he's a skilled fighter and he's a good ass fighter. But they don't have the names to feed Crawford that make Crawford. Well, who can Crawford fight? Even if you like, let's say this is no disrespect to Bud. If Crawford fights Kell Brook, that's not a horrible fight, but Errol Spence already knocked him out. You see what I'm saying? So Errol Spence, if he knocks out Sean Porter, this is hypothetical. Sean Porter ain't never been knocked out. So if Errol Spence can figure out a way and get it done, he's going to rise and he gets a belt from that. If Terence Crawford knocks out Kell Brook, we could say, oh, Triple G did that. Oh, Errol Spence did that, you know? And he won't get a belt from it and there's built-in excuse. Kell Brook said he couldn't even make 147. He said he lost to Spence because he couldn't make 147. So, and his eyes is all fucked up. So he has that to fall back on. There's built-in excuses there. So that's not the best fight, you know? Prime Brook versus Prime Crawford would be dope. But I wouldn't say it's the prime. So it doesn't it would show us more of what we already know about Crawford, if anything. Just like the Amir Khan fight. Errol already knocked out him. And he ain't done shit since then. He beat a sparring partner and looked horrible versus Michael Zarafa. And pulled out of a Brandon Cook fight and lied and said he couldn't make 147. And now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting at 147. He said he was going to 54, right? And he switched trainers. He left Dominic Ingle. So the timing is not really good. That's a paycheck for Brook, but Crawford would definitely be the favorite. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't help the people that Errol Spence could fight. If he beats them, his star power is going to keep growing. The legend keeps growing. If Errol Spence knocked out Danny Garcia, he ain't been stopped. Sean Porter, he ain't been stopped. A former champion, you know, in multiple divisions, 140 and 147, and Danny Garcia. Sean Porter has been a champion more than once. IBF champion. Then he lost to Kell Brook, right? Then he became WBC champion, beating Danny Garcia. These are big, meaningful fights that everyone knows. You know, and then if, let's say, Keith Thurman and Pacquiao fight, and then the winner of that fight fights the winner of Porter, Spence, let's say Spence win, then he keeps growing. Now he could unify, collect all these belts like Thanos. Meanwhile, Crawford's options are very limited. Luis Collazo maybe, Kell Brook, Mean Machine, guys, Jose Benavidez too, you know, stuff like that. Unless Al Heyman, you know, or another promoter who I can't think of, another promoter with top, or, you know, like Josh Kelly or some shit. I don't know how big that would be. What is Josh Kelly at, 47 or is he at 50? Is he at 54? So that's what I think is going on. And this is what I've been telling you guys. Time is on PBC's side and they can still make meaningful fights. This is what's pissing off Arum. Because he knows that. He knows he don't have nobody for Crawford. And see, the worst part about it is Crawford is too good. I keep telling you that. He's too good. So if he's in there with the Steve Rolls in his division, it's going to stick out. And people are like, man, what the hell? Crawford versus a Steve Rolls at 147 is going to look bad because obviously Crawford is so good. So you would kind of want to see him in there with at least a decent name. Conor Ben his eye was all blackened from somebody else. I don't see that being a big fight for him. So that, I mean, again, this is what I see. That's kind of where we're at with this. Of course, Crawford versus Spence is a big fight, but my point is this: you can't fault PBC for doing stuff that Top Rank invented and has been doing. I double dog dare anybody to compete with me in the hot seat on this very point. Please give me examples how Top Rank always, not under mandatory situations, but when they had top fighters who were good fighters and they reached out constantly and actually got the job done to make inter-promotional, cross-promoted events. And please don't say Mayweather-Pacquiao, because that shit took 6 years. So let's use some other, realistic examples, because that took the longest. I'm talking about like Pacquiao versus Al Heyman guy. Not like we offered someone something. I'm talking about fights that went over the line. Please argue this with me. He said nobody wants that hot seat. I know, because they know they're not coming out. They know they wouldn't come out of that. Pacquiao was with Top Rank, fought nobody from Al Heyman's stable. Nobody. Who did he fight? And if he did fight Al Heyman, the guy, it wasn't no top person. When Pacquiao was with Top Rank, who did he fight? That was with Al Heyman. And like I said, don't use Mayweather Pacquiao, because that fight was long. That was like 6 years. And that was more, it wasn't just a Top Rank reached out to someone deal. That requires CBS and Les Moonves and all types of people. Miami Heat games. That wasn't just a Bob Arum reached out, made an offer, facilitated a deal, boom, boom, bam. So Mayweather Pacquiao don't count, because that wasn't one party coming together. That was like intense. Al Heyman and Les Moonves and CBS mediating and Bob Arum. That was different. Tim Bradley fought the one guy. What one guy? You got to use names. Listen, if you next comment like that, you in the hot seat. I need names, dates, anybody. So Anthony M., if you leave another comment like that, I want all the smoke in this debate. If you leave another comment like that, you in the hot seat. You talking about Bradley versus that one guy. Who? What PBC guy? Who did Bradley fight? He fought Errol Spence. He fought Amir Khan when he was with Heyman. Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia. Those are all. Broner. Those have all been great fights. Brandon Rios. Did he fight Broner? I wanted to see Brandon Rios versus Adrian Broner at a time. Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios way back then, before they actually fought on PBC. Victor Ortiz versus Brandon Rios, when Brandon Rios was with Top Rank and Victor Ortiz was with Al Heyman. This man said Floyd versus Corrales. What the fuck are you talking about? What Floyd versus Corrales? Who was with who? What are you talking about? Hey, Jay Turk, what are you talking about? Who was Floyd with and who was Corrales with? You're saying Corrales was with Al Heyman? What are you even saying? I seen you keep copying and paste it. Now you in the hot seat. What are you saying? Speak English. Floyd Mayweather versus Corrales. Who was with who? What are you claiming? What set you claiming, cut? This man said Corrales. Corrales was with Showtime. He was with Al Heyman. We talking about Al Heyman. You're not even spelling Corrales right. Rest in peace to Chico. I said Al Heyman. You talking about Showtime, bro. What are you talking about? So Al Heyman was Corrales' mandatory, or his advisor. That's what you're claiming? Because Mayweather, I believe, was with Top Rank at that point. The whole question, the whole context was Top Rank working with Al Heyman on a major fight that was non-mandatory. So you're claiming Corrales was with Al Heyman. Hey, block Yawo. He said, I hope Spence is not juicing. Block him. Speculation bullshit. Go to old media with that bullshit. DeVoice Yawo, block him. I seen y'all had been arguing with him. He finally showed his true colors. Said some stupid shit. Block him. Thank you. Now, Jay Turk, who was with Al Heyman at that in Mayweather Corrales? Who was with Heyman? I don't understand what you're saying. You have 10 seconds. 9 seconds. Who was with Heyman? That was the whole question. Like I said, if y'all don't want to listen, we're going to help you. We're going to help you understand. Who was with Heyman in the Mayweather Corrales fight? No, Bob made the super fight. Who was with Al Heyman, which was the question? 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Jay Turk, put him in the sights. 4 seconds. Who was with Al Heyman in Mayweather Corrales that you felt the need to keep copying and pasting that same very comment? That was the question. You answered. You have to get your facts right, and you have 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Who was with Al Heyman? 2 seconds. Corrales or Mayweather? Who was with Al Heyman at that point? 1 second. What is your final answer? Who was with Al Heyman in the Mayweather Corrales fight? Nobody was with Al. Block him. Wasted everybody's time because people don't want to. Everybody wants to be right, but they don't want to listen to simple. The question was very simple. I said, name a fight where you had a big cash cow with Top Rank outside of Mayweather Pacquiao, and the only reason that's exempt, or I omitted that, is because that wasn't like Top Rank just facilitated that. It required Al Heyman, Les Moonves, CBS, Showtime, HBO. It was a massive ordeal with everybody. So name the Top Rank fight where they had like a top cash cow, like Nonito Donaire and Abner Mares, and then they fought. Because that's another one. Nonito Donaire was a top-ranked fighter, and Abner Mares was with Al Heyman. And we talked about it. Shit never happened. It never happened. We didn't even get Mikey Garcia versus Gamboa when Gamboa was with 50 Cent. So, once again, name a top rank outside of Mayweather Pacquiao, for the obvious reason that I just suggested, a top-ranked fighter that was not fighting someone who was his mandatory, that he fought with Al Heyman. Like, he fought with an Al Heyman guy, and it was like a big card. I'm destroying them. They don't know boxing. I keep telling you this. They just want to rush and answer and not listen to question and answer, lie and answer. We're looking for actual facts. I have Google. I have Ask Jeeves. I have Miss Cleo. We have resources. I'm going to check. Smash the like button. Name the box. So, long story short, nobody's answering. This is wasting my time. This is wasting your time. Feel free to chime in the next 5 minutes. Here's an example of fights that didn't happen that were cross-promotional. Mikey Garcia, Top Rank at the time. Gamboa, who was with 50 Cent. Never happened. Nonito Donaire was with Top Rank, and Abner Mares was with Abner Mares, I believe. Abner Mares was with Al Heyman at the time. Never happened, right? Pacquiao, he could have fought Broner, at that time when he was with Top Rank, could have fought Danny Garcia. He could have fought Danny Garcia when he was undefeated. Could have fought Keith Thurman, who was calling him out. You know, he could have fought Errol Spence. When he was with Top Rank, fought none of them. Tim Bradley could have fought Broner, could have fought Danny Garcia, could have fought Amir Khan, could have fought, you know, anybody, Victor Ortiz, all these different fights. Didn't happen. Terence Crawford could have fought Broner back in the day or whatever. Never happened. So what's the difference? What's changed now? You know, Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios could have fought Broner. I really wanted to see that back in the day. Juan Manuel Marquez could have fought against Broner too. Never got to see it. Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia when Pacquiao was with Top Rank. So what's the big deal now? This has been going. We've been not seeing top cash cows from Top Rank fight top cash cows in their prime or whatever we're talking about. Why didn't Sean Porter get a shot at Pacquiao when he was with Top Rank? They sparred before I heard they were wars. So once again, that's that old media shit. You're not gonna bamboozle me. You're not gonna bamboozle me. So all the people who are all of a sudden outraged because Errol Spence and whatever's not happening, Errol Spence and whoever's not happening, Errol Spence and Crawford, what's changed? This has been going on. But once again, old media, they make it sound like Al Heyman, this is just the first time they haven't put together a non-mandatory big fight. They ain't been putting on these fights. You know, when did Gilberto Ramirez fight, you know, David Benavidez? Gilberto Ramirez, Zurdo Ramirez is with Top Rank. David Benavidez is with Al Heyman. Why they ain't fought? You know? Marcus Brown, Kovalev. Marcus Brown, and, you know, and Vodstick. Why none of these motherfuckers fought? What's the difference? So, once again, Bob Arum, he's trying to play his card or whatever and get the public in an uproar because we all know that it's a good fight between Crawford, Spence, and he's not getting his way. So he's trying to, like, you know, shame PBC, but it doesn't work like that. There's a ton of fights. This has been going on. That's my point. You know, there's a ton of fights that didn't go on. So it's what's different for this. I wanted to see Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. And when Pacquiao was with Top Rank, I never got to see it. Now he's with PBC. They talking about they're in negotiations. How is this happening? How is it that Pacquiao leaves Top Rank and then now we're getting this fight? You see what I'm saying? So I'm not falling for it. Especially when there's other good fights outside of Spence and Bob Arum is just writing them all off saying, I don't want to fight Crawford versus any of them, but Kell Brooks sounds good. So Danny Garcia sounds horrible. Mikey Garcia sounds horrible. You know, Berto, fucking Devin Alexander, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao. All these fights sound horrible for Crawford except for Spence. Stop it. Unless you matching Crawford with guys that are like 10 times better than Danny Garcia, 10 times better resume, then it doesn't make sense. Fine. Okay, so basically, is Crawford's next fight with Top Rank, is he going to fight someone who has the style, an interesting style matchup, and has the resume and the momentum of a Danny Garcia, who just came off of a sharp win? He's going to fight someone better than Danny Garcia then. You know what I'm saying? So people keep acting like this. Spence and Crawford like this is some new shit because you guys are fucking sheep. Sheep. I refuse to be a sheep. To protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf. Are you a sheep or you a wolf? I'm a fucking wolf. Y'all can be sheep and act like this is... We ain't seen Lomachenko in there with Gervonta Davis. You know, we ain't seen none of that type of shit. So what's so magically different about Bob Arum strong arming, Heyman with this Spence Crawford conversation? Sheep. People because once again, Bob Arum has been in the business. He's manipulating the crowd. He knows he could say something, and he knows it's a desired fight, so he's expecting people to just swallow it and be like, oh, yeah, because he knows people want to see the fight. He knows people want to see it in general, so he's trying to use that angle. Basically play people's emotions against him. You got to be smarter than that. It is what it is. We ain't been getting these major top. Crawford fought a couple Al Heyman fighters like Felix Diaz and John Molina Jr., but it ain't been no Crawford and Broner, like maximum, crazy mega matchup. Crawford, Danny Garcia, Crawford, Mikey when he was undefeated. We weren't getting that. We're getting John Molina, who Broner beat in Crawford. Well, he didn't even say nothing about Mikey, and he's coming off a loss. I just threw Mikey in there. So listen, once again, you guys try to get distracted on the most trivial of things. You would rather see Crawford versus Mean Machine over Crawford versus Mikey Garcia. Let's vote. Because I can't believe that. If Crawford, if they said, vote right now or forever hold your peace, Terence Crawford versus Mean Machine, or Terence Crawford versus Mikey Garcia, even though Mikey Garcia just lost to Errol Spence, who would you rather fight? Kavalauskas, the Mean Machine, or Terence Crawford versus Mikey? If you had to pick, like it was like a Scantron test, you had to fill in one bubble, who would you pick? Anthony says Garcia. Vote. I want to hear it. If you could only pick between those two people, Mikey Garcia, Mikey, Crawford versus Mikey, who the fuck is Green Machine? Y'all not even called it by the same name. Someone said Love Machine, Green Machine. See, look, exactly. It's common sense, bro. It's just like, hey, Steve Rolls and Triple G, or Triple G versus Charlo, Triple G versus Andrade. You know what people would pick. It would be either Andrade or Charlo. They would both get picked over Steve Rolls. Let's not overcomplicate this stuff. If there's a Scantron test and it says, fill out Triple G's next opponent, your vote will be cast and he fights the winner. Steve Rolls ain't winning over Charlo and Andrade next, period. Look, he said, who is Mean Machine? I don't know how to pronounce his name like that. It's Ignatius Kavalauskas or some shit. He's a top ranked guy. I watched him fight. He didn't. There's his name. I just typed it. See, y'all don't even know who he is. So that tells you your answer right there. Like I keep saying, beggars cannot be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. Bob Arum should just be trying to get Terence Crawford the best fights he can get in the meantime. Instead, he's trying to ridicule and hate on Al Heyman and tell people not to support Al Heyman. He's saying that Al Heyman is not willing to work with him because he's a white promoter and don't listen to the white guys, his words verbatim, as quoted by the Los Angeles Times. He's saying things like that. And he's making statements post-fight Crawford Khan where he says, quote, You know, a lot of guys that we're interested in fighting, like Kell Brook, he said he wanted to fight Terence, and that'd be a fun fight. I mean, the other guys that Al Heyman has, I'm not really interested in. Sean Porter isn't a real fight for Crawford. Danny Garcia isn't a real fight, is not a real fight. Keith Thurman isn't. The fight that's a real fight is Spence. You don't want to work. Like, why wouldn't... It's just like, this is typical, like reverse psychology or whatever you want to call it. You know, if you really want to do business with someone, like, let's say I was a drug dealer. Right? Let's say I'm a drug dealer and you never went, you know what I'm saying? I never worked with you before. I'm not going to just automatically give you like 10 keys and we have no rapport on, you know, we haven't done major transactions like that, because you could get the 10 keys and then skip town. You get what I'm saying? You could get 10 keys and then just bounce, and then I have to come looking for you. Right? So most people in this situation on some narco shit would start small. They would start small. Instead of giving you 10 bricks, they would give you less, a lot less, establish a rapport. When you got that off, built the relationship, you know, they fronted you the cash, they fronted you the bricks, you got the money for it, you flipped it, made your profit, gave them their money back plus their profit, boom. Right? Then you work your way up. You see how that works? That's simple business. So the thing is, even something as simple as dealing on the streets, you know, like something like that's not even organized or legal, like street dealing, has a structure to it. So I can't believe in a corporate situation like Top Rank, PBC, etc., you would automatically assume and go after the biggest fish. They say we already have plans for him, Leonard Ellerbe and stuff. Oh, Spence, that's not gonna happen next. We working on something for Spence. Blah blah blah. The world just doesn't know what it is. And then you say, man, fuck that. If we can't get Spence, we don't want Sean Porter, we don't want Danny Garcia, we don't want Keith Thurman. 2 of those 3 people are champions currently. So you're basically saying you don't want a unification. But Kell Brook sounds like a fun fight. And he lied and said he couldn't even make 147. He has 2 damaged eyes. He got stopped by Errol Spence. So you, out of 4 belts, you know, 4 major belts at the welterweight, you only want to fight. Your fighter has 1 of the belts. You only want to fight 1 belt holder. You don't want to make Crawford Pacquiao. You don't want to make Crawford Thurman, you know, and you don't want to make Crawford versus Porter, because they're not real fights. That is too unbelievable. That is too unbelievable. This is going to backfire on Bob Arum because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You don't want to work, like I said, start small. Make a little fight with like Danny Garcia or something. See if you could get that. And then that'll be a bigger fight than Mean Machine or somebody like that, or even the Kell Brook to me. Kell Brook, Terence Crawford don't fight in the UK. You know what I'm saying? He fought in Scotland to Ricky Burns, but I don't see why he, as a champion, would be fighting Kell Brook in the UK, unless that's just where they wanted to stage it. So realistically, Kell Brook in America is not going to be as big as Danny Garcia and Crawford. Crawford versus Brook is not a big fight in New York, bigger than Danny, who's in Philly, which is driving distance from New York, in New York. Crawford versus Garcia in New York is easily a bigger fight. We're talking about Philly. You could catch trains and all types of shit from Philly, or you could drive. It's not too far of a drive. I've never made it personally, but I know people who have, right? You can't tell me some guy with a horrible last fight versus Michael Zarafa, a stripper, and 2 stoppage losses with 2 damaged eye sockets where he gave up is a bigger fight in New York or wherever. But I would see, you know, I can see them staging at MSG or something. So I'm not buying it. You guys can buy it. And then when Errol Spence and Sean Porter is announced, act surprised and all this stupid shit because you listen to what Arum says. Good luck with that. I'm not doing it. Everybody knows the drill. Everybody knows the deal. And it sounds like he's angry because he doesn't have the grip on the welterweight division, which is historically a money-making division in boxing. You know, the greats like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, all fought at De La Hoya, you know, Cotto. And that's what the issue is, because he doesn't have fight. ESPN's probably, you know, they have a contract with you. They want results. They want you to pull big fights together too. And I think that pressure and stuff is amounting. And he knows he doesn't pull the string. Like I said, why wouldn't you start small? Fight Crawford, Mikey Garcia, whatever you can get. These are all bigger fights than Mean Machine. Why is it Spence or nobody? There's no justification for that. I want to fight Spence, or if I can't fight Spence, I don't want to fuck all these PBC guys. That's the attitude. When the other PBC guys are still better fights than anybody you have in-house, I'm not buying it at all. So you guys can do whatever the fuck y'all want. I'm not buying it. I would pay to watch Crawford versus Danny Garcia. Exactly. And you're not going to front Danny Garcia off like his last performance wasn't dope, you know? Man, I destroy anybody's argument. I'm so confident that Danny Garcia knocked out Amir Khan. So if you're so particular about who Crawford fights, how you fight Amir Khan, who looked horrible, versus Samuel Vargas, a guy that Danny Garcia knocked out. So you're so particular about, oh no, these guys aren't real fights, but you made Crawford versus Amir Khan, Danny Garcia and Errol Spence. But since we're talking about Danny knocked out the guy that knocked down Khan and had Khan looking pretty shitty in Khan's very last fight. This is actual fact. Danny knocked out Samuel Vargas in Philly at the Licorice or whatever center in Philadelphia. That same guy fought against Amir Khan and dropped him in the very fight before the Crawford fight. In addition, Danny Garcia himself knocked out the guy you just put on a $70 pay-per-view, Amir Khan, opposite Terence Crawford. And you're really trying to convince me and new media and Ego's army that Danny Garcia is not a real fight, but Danny knocked out the guy you just had Crawford fighting on pay-per-view. And on top of that, Danny Garcia fought Adrian Granados, who is not easy to look good against and has a good resume, and he stopped him and became the first one. So y'all got me fucked up. Y'all don't know more than me. Y'all don't know what y'all talk about. I'm ready for any smoke, because that you're not making that make sense. I don't care if you work for Top Rank. I don't care if you're Bob Arum's stepson, if you're Arum himself, if you're the heir to Arum, you know, I don't care. I don't care if you part of the Wayans family. You're not fucking with me, dog. That doesn't make sense. You can't just write off Danny Garcia, former champion, respectable losses, never been stopped. Khan been stopped multiple times. Danny Garcia ain't even been getting dropped. Danny Garcia beat Eric Morales, fought him again. He dropped Eric Morales in the first fight, dropped him and knocked him out in the second fight, beat Zab Judah and set an attendance record at Barclays, right? He fought Nate Campbell, he fought Kendall Holt, he fought Lucas Matisse when he was a killer and knocked him down and was the first one to stop that boogeyman. He has a win over Lamont Peterson, who was a good fight, tough fight for him. He has a win over Mauricio Herrera. I thought he lost that one, but he still fought it, still run with him. He knocked out Amir Khan, who Terence Crawford just fought. He just beat a guy who's hard to look good against, Adrian Granado. Y'all can't fuck with me, bro. He beat Robert Guerrero, knocked out Paulie Malignaggi, fought Sean Porter, fought Keith Thurman. Oh my gosh, bro. Y'all not fucking with me. I told y'all. His resume is top notch, and then Bob Arum talking about it's not a real fight. Okay, even if we put Danny Garcia, okay, he's not a real fight. Whatever. Sean Porter's a champion. Keith Thurman's a champion. You just said he can't fight them. These are all champions. So basically, you would rather see Terence Crawford not unify and fight a guy who's been stopped twice in a row in Kell Brook, who had 2 lingering, nagging eye injuries, and 3 looked horrible in his last fight versus Michael Zarafa, which was even corroborated by UK commentators who sometimes can be really biased. And he pulled out of fights before. And he pulled out of the Brandon Cook fight. I know too much about boxing. Y'all not fucking with me. I'm done. That's it. And then on top of that, like I said, beggars can't be choosers. How you going to, if they not giving you Errol Spence, what you going to rob them and make the Spence fight? You going to put a ski mask on? What you going to do? You can't do nothing. So you kind of stuck there. What are you gonna do? You gonna get a shotty and run up in the office and say, yeah, you gonna make this, break yourself, Hangman? What you gonna do? A blizzard from Juice? Man, hurry up and strip. God damn it, cause you look good. Like, what you gonna do? If they say they not giving you Errol Spence, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing. The only thing you can do is complain about it. Period. He said NWA. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gonna pull a Suge Knight? You gonna hold Spence over a balcony and shit? Oh yeah, you gonna fight? They not giving him to you. So again, you can't do nothing. So the only thing you do is try to hate and paint the public perception and make people hate Heyman and cancer and all this extra shit. Stop it, man. Y'all getting ego belly now. He said, hang with over. Yeah, Big Red from the 5 Temptations. Remember when he hung him out the window? I said, I told you my office hours are 9 to 5. Open the goddamn window. This ain't no 5 heartbeats. You go strong heart. You can't do nothing. What you gonna do? So again, if they say you're not fighting Errol Spence, if they said Loma can't fight Tank, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing. The only thing you do is complain about it and say, hey man, don't buy these guys fight. That's not working. Stop it. Open the goddamn window. He said motherfuckers don't even know what Heyman looked like to dangle him out a window. Bro, I told you this year I'm destroying old media. All this old dumb shit is trash. That's why it's so raw to see. I'm a little skitty battling lions. They're not coming up with more quotables and points than me. They're not. So this is more posturing and all this political bullshit, but I'm just kicking the actual facts and the actual science. It's like Triple G, same kind of thing. Canelo holds all the power over Triple G. He beat you. He has the belts. If he beats Jacobs, he did something. If he does it convincingly, then he did something that Triple G didn't do. Canelo is a bigger star than you. He has bigger numbers than you. His fight with Mayweather alone is better than any fight Triple G has done on pay-per-view or anything, right? Canelo tells Triple G to get a belt. Triple G said, I don't want to get a belt. I think he's wrong. You're not in the driver's seat. You see what I'm saying? If Canelo said get a belt, why wouldn't you try to do that to secure your spot with the trilogy? Triple G sitting around fighting bakery rolls, hoping he gets chose. You know what I'm saying? Hoping he get chose by Canelo. That's pitiful. You gonna just sit around, try to play it safe and try to stay warm in the nest while Canelo's out here man style fighting big ass Jacobs who's towering over him, and you gonna sit up here in the sniper's nest and just wait and camp out and fighting bakery rolls instead of securing your own legacy and then meet Canelo, see him when you see him. Because truth be told, even if Triple G fought Andrade and lost, he could still fight Canelo. And it would be a bigger fight if he beat Andrade, because he would have the belt and it would be for undisputed. Man, we destroying old media this year. I told you. They not coming with better points than us. Look at Bijou. They not coming with better points. Hey, if you guys could smash the like button. But yeah, this is ridiculous from Arum to write off Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and say there aren't real fights for Crawford. So how are unification? Who else in boxing? Name somebody in any division. See, bro, Top Rank is capping. It's just what it is. Bob Arum, Top Rank, whoever you want to blame, they cap it. How is it that Lomachenko is sitting up here at 135, a weak 135, minus the young cats like Devin Haney, you know, Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo? They're the ones making noise, but they, you know, they're young, so they on their journey, right? And Lomachenko is at 135, a weak 135, minus the young gunners who are, you know, trying to get title shots and stuff. And Lomachenko wants to sit up there and unify. That's what he says. He says, yeah, I want all belts and blah, 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 right? So Top Rank is supporting and telling Teofimo to go get a belt. See, this is the inconsistencies that I'm talking about. You have to have a keen mind to see this stuff. Top Rank is supporting Lomachenko not fighting Teofimo because Teofimo needs to go run out and get a belt because Loma wants belt holders only and wants to unify. But then you look at the black fighter, Terence Crawford at welterweight. They're saying that Top Rank, Bob Arum, is doing interviews saying 3 guys, 2 of the 3 are belt holders, and he's saying those fights, we don't want to make those fights because those aren't true fights. We only want Spence. So out of 3 belt holders, you only want to fight 1 belt holder with PBC. But Lomachenko, his whole goal is to be undisputed, and you're rocking with that. And you're going to put him in there with Luke Campbell if he's the mandatory because Mikey Garcia vacates. You're going to put him in there with Richard Comey. That might be next. Shit like that. So Lomachenko gets to realize his dreams are undisputed. But Terence Crawford, who just became undisputed and is on record saying he wants to do the same thing at welterweight and prove he's the best welterweight, the black guy, Terence Crawford, you're telling him we don't want to see you fight 2 of 3 guys on PBC, not named Errol Spence, even though 2 of them have belts. Come on, bro. Y'all know y'all wrong. Yeah, all that brotherhood talk, I peeped that. Cold words. Terence Crawford. So basically, the black fighter, even though he was already undisputed in his last division, Bob Arum let him tell it, since Sean Porter and Keith Thurman are bogus, no good fights, despite them being champions, Terence Crawford can't become undisputed. Him fighting Errol Spence doesn't become undisputed. So guess what? If oh my gosh. See, y'all better stop. I told you I'm fucking Ego Valley. Listen, I gotta take, oh my gosh. Oh shit. I'm turning to Ego Valley. Ugh. If y'all want me to drop this Ego Valley bombshell, I just thought of it right now. That's why you can't fuck with my mind. Can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? I'm about to turn to Ego Valley. Oh my gosh. I'm destroying old media. I'm destroying. That's why what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm destroying them. This shit don't make sense. I'm destroying them. Okay. Terence Crawford was undisputed at 140. Props. He moved up to 47, said he wants to do the same thing. Props. He said he wants to prove he's the best welterweight. Lomachenko at 135 says he wants to be undisputed. So they're going to try to align the Richard Comey fight, if the WBC allows Lomachenko to fight Luke Campbell or some shit for the WBC belt, they're going to try to set that up. They're even telling a young hotshot prospect like Teofimo, go get a belt. Get a belt before you fuck with us, right? Pay attention. Pay attention. So Bob Arum says, and I quote, you know, a lot of guys were interested in fighting, like Kell Brook, who has no belt. This is me saying that. He said he wants to fight Terence Crawford. That's a fun fight. I mean, the other guys that Al Heyman has, I'm not really interested in. Sean Porter isn't a real fight. Sean Porter is the WBC champion, factually. Danny Garcia, who just looked good in his last fight with Granados, he says Danny Garcia is not a real champion. And he says Keith Thurman, who's the WBA champion, isn't a real fight. The fight that's a real fight is Errol Spence. So here's the bombshell. Let me put this in perspective. Bob Arum is capping because Terence Crawford says he wants to be undisputed. You're saying 2 of 3 guys that are all better than anybody you could have Terence Crawford fight in-house, 2 of which are champions, which would be unifications. You're saying he can't have those fights because they're quote-unquote not real. We only want Errol Spence. But even if you make Crawford Spence next, Terence Crawford is still not undisputed. You get what I'm saying? He would only collect if he can beat Errol Spence. If he could beat Errol Spence, he would collect 1 belt, the IBF that he has. So the people who are trying to rush the Spence, for Spence to actually, for Crawford to actually realize his dreams and become undisputed, then he should let Spence try to clean up his side of the street, like he's saying, fight Sean Porter, because then he collects 2 belts. Then Thurman and Pacquiao fight, they consolidate a belt, and then the winners meet, and then Spence will have all 3 belts. So when they finally fight, it will be for undisputed, because it's looking like, based on what Bob Arum is saying, that is the only way that Crawford can become undisputed, because your own promoter is saying 2 unification fights aren't real fights. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So he might as well let Spence try to clean up his side of the street and then fight the winner. Because Crawford says he wants to be undisputed. And based on what Bob Arum is saying, he's not going to allow for that, because he's saying 2 champion fights don't make sense. They're not real fights. And then even the Danny Garcia, who's not a champion, he said that don't make sense either, which is still a better fight than any in-house fights. Pacquiao has a version of the belt. He has a version of the WBA, but Keith Thurman and Pacquiao are going to fight. So he's better off, for Crawford's sake, instead of you guys trying to rush Crawford versus Spence, he's better off letting them clean up their side of the street, because that's the only way he's going to be undisputed, because Arum's telling you that Sean Porter, I don't want to see that. That don't make no sense. But he's a champion. Keith Thurman, I don't want to see that. So he's better off letting PBC run this little tournament, and then Crawford fight the winner. How can Crawford realize his dreams if you won't let him fight unifications? You felt comfortable saying that 2 of 3 fights that would be unifications aren't real fights. So because in your mind they're not good fights, you're not going to pull the trigger. You only want Spence. Even if you fight Spence, even if Crawford knocked out Spence, hypothetically, he still wouldn't be undisputed. So he would still have to go through Sean Porter, or have to go through Keith Thurman, or whoever had the belts. So why don't you make those lesser fights now, and make those fights, and then you're talking, because when you do fight Spence, the belts are already obtained. Come on, bro. Y'all got bodied, per usual. Like I said, this is all propaganda. If Crawford fights Spence 2 weeks from now, he still ain't undisputed. That's what he said he wanted. So he would still have to go after Sean Porter, or Keith Thurman, or Pacquiao. Those guys have the belts. Danny Garcia is likely to get Sean Porter if Keith Thurman, or if Spence doesn't fight him. Because they're high ranked with the WBC. Danny Garcia just beat Granados, who was part of an eliminator for Sean Porter to get the WBC slot. So Danny Garcia is definitely ranked high. Amir Khan was ranked pretty good, but he just lost. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is Bob Arum, if anything, he's preventing Undisputed because he doesn't want to let PBC clean up the side of the street. You know, that's why it doesn't make sense to do it Bob's way. Bob's way is to make the Spence Crawford fight right now, and Crawford and Spence have one belt apiece. So you still gonna have to keep working with the Heyman side to get the rest of the belts. Oh my gosh, I'm done. This is too easy. Boss Red 357, like the Magnum, $5 super chat. Bob mad because one of his fighters about to be unified, and Crawford is on the outside looking in. Yeah, I already know. And I'm proving that I know it. I get you. That's why I told you it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than this. Because you should want PBC to facilitate in-house tournaments like the Pacquiao versus Thurman. That consolidates the WBA. You know, Spence versus Porter. That will give the winner the IBF and also the WBC. You get what I'm saying? So you should want those fights to happen because Crawford says he wants all the belts and prove he's the best welterweight. There's no way he can do that just by fighting Spence next. Because Spence, we think he's the top of the totem pole, but he still hasn't beat Sean Porter. He still hasn't beat Danny Garcia because those guys didn't want to fight him at a point. You know? He ain't fought Pacquiao for like legacy and name. And Bob Arum knows this. And he knows that Spence is going to keep growing. And he knows Spence is talented. That Spence can emerge through all of this and possibly be the victor with all the straps posed like AJ and shit. Just like AJ got all these fucking straps and Wilder got one, and then people say, oh, yeah, Wilder's the B-side. Look how many belts AJ has. So PBC is setting Errol Spence up to grow in star power, to really solidify his spot as the A-side. And if he wins, if he has the skills to beat all these guys, be posted up like AJ, like, yeah, I got all these belts. So now you want to fight me? You have to fight me on my terms. And that's what Arum doesn't like. Plus, in the meantime, who is Arum going to feed that satisfies ESPN's scheduling? Where they're like, oh, that's a good fight for Crawford. You know, that's going to give us ratings. You have to look at everything. Why didn't Crawford fight Lipinets? Because he fought for Undisputed against Julius Ndongo. So, anyway, I've made my case. It's too easy. This is all a rat race, and, you know, Bob Arum is behind in the welterweight category, and he knows this. And there's seemingly no, with the amount. Bob Arum don't own the 147-pound division. He don't own the 154-pound division. He don't own the 160 division because DAZN has that. And these are all powerful money-making divisions. Middleweight, you know, junior middle, and welterweight. You know, guys with names and shit in them divisions, right? And he doesn't have no stake in any of them. How? How does he? Who's he got a middleweight that he got? Because the best middleweights, Canelo, Jacobs, Andrade, and Charlo. And Charlo's the only one on PBC. The other guys are with what's the name? DAZN. He don't have, you know, and I think that's the real issue. I'm not even going through welterweight because we know his big star is Crawford, but you know, in 154, DAZN got Jaime Munguia. And then the rest of the guys PBC got Julian J. Rock Williams, Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison, Swift Jared Hurd, Austin Trout, you know, Edis Lundy Lada. Bob Arum don't have nobody in any of them divisions. Them is some money-making divisions. That's what this is really about. Because who is he going to give? Who is he going to pitch to? You know, he has to work around not having major fighters in those divisions. He has talent, But a lot of them are like, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo, Mick Connolly, guys that are, you have to build them up, get them ready. Because it's not like he's ready to make Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez or Teofimo versus Lomachenko, Hey, I'm not arguing with no bums, bro. I've already said my piece. And then he got Fury, who has, the lineal champion, not like an active belt like that. And he's putting on Tom Schwartz. I told you, making the mistake, you got to prioritize. Everything goes from new media now. Everything goes through us. Prioritizing everybody but American fighters, that shit is a dub. Them days is over. You need to start investing in American fighters and putting on and trying to get the American public to fuck with these guys. Because, listen, I have nothing against anyone from any other place. But there's a lot of guys that they keep putting on pedestals. We don't even know, like, their build-ups to their fights are not ever really relevant in America. Not saying they're a bad fighter. Lomachenko, when he's fighting, nothing interesting is really going on fight week unless he's cloud chasing, mentioning Teofimo or Gervonta. That's the biggest, But we've already seen him doing backflips and handstands and shit for years. But there's no, like, Floyd Mayweather-esque dialogue, or even Broner. Broner can sell a fight. You get what I'm saying? Caleb Plant, people could relate to him. People, you from the South, or, he just lost his mama, he lost his daughter. He has a real life story that we're trying, people have been buying into. So he's not afraid to show that vulnerability. And he's dating Jordan from PBC. We could relate to these things. You know what I'm saying? E from the Ville, clap him. I want to watch his name vanish. E from the Ville. I can't wait to see his name get zapped up out of here. Yeah, he going right back to the Ville. Bow. Reblock him, real brother. You unblocked him some kind of way. And like I said, I've been saying, Top Rank has some in-house fights that they can make that would be interesting. But they don't want to crack none of their eggs. Put Lomachenko with Teofimo. I swear to you, if that happens next, I will pay for it. I like that. I like that matchup. Another good one would be Beterbiev versus Kovalev, Beterbiev versus Vodstick. That could happen. I would like that fight. In-house. Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson. I would like that. So they got some fights that it's just a matter of making those fights. And like I said, you want to demand something of another platform and network, like just say fuck what they talk about. We don't care what your plans are for Errol Spence. We want the fight and we bring in the public. That's not how it works. You can't just run in someone else's office and tell them how it's going. Of course, don't play this like little pussy ass game in the comment section talking about, oh yeah, it's supposed to be about boxing, because how many times has it been about the business over boxing? So don't play this heroic bullshit about, oh yeah, it's not about that, it's about, just like they did with Luis Ortiz. Now all of a sudden 1 million people want to see Luis Ortiz get his shine versus Anthony Joshua, now that he only has 5 weeks to fucking train because Gerald Miller had fucking adamantium in his system. Stop it. Meanwhile, new media has been advocating, updating, and hoping and praying and suggesting that Luis Ortiz finally get his crack at AJ. Finally. And then when things didn't go to plan, DAZN has some, work cut out to try to save the event and main event. Then people are like, oh yeah, Luis Ortiz it's not about saving the DAZN event. It's about Luis Ortiz and a chance at 4 belts and the opportunity. Motherfucker, it was about the 4 belts. It would have been the same chance with a full camp too. And he didn't choose Luis Ortiz. So what's the difference? You see, that's the part they keep missing out. They keep saying, "Oh, it's about the chance and the opportunity." Okay, so with the 10-12 week camp, had Joshua picked Luis Ortiz to begin with, he would have been fighting for the same opportunity and them same funky ass 4 belts. How am I lying? So why should Luis Ortiz break his back to try to save the event at age 40 and do or die and risk it all because they picked someone against him? Eddie Hearn a week before was talking about him because Gerald Miller has something in his system. Oh, it's about the opportunity. Well, why didn't AJ give him that opportunity at the 4 belt? It's about the 4 belts. See how they try to act all noble and heroic? We ain't buying that bullshit. Because I've been trying to get Luis Ortiz and advocate for that fight happening. And you motherfuckers weren't. Oh, he's old and he lost a while. You guys are making every excuse. He doesn't sell. Well, look at the Christian Hammer fight. They had every excuse under the sun. Now they trying to act like they been about this life, trying to see King Kong get his shine. Unbelievable. Like I said, Crawford says he wants to be undisputed. Fighting Errol Spence next, unfortunately, it's a good fight, but it doesn't do that. Plus, the reason why I'm okay waiting is because how many other fights have we had to wait for? Wilder Fury should be happening next, and Top Rank and ESPN made us wait, and Frank Warren made us wait longer. So how is it? This is what I say. Listen what they do to black fighters. Look at what they do to black fighters. The 2 black fighters, Crawford and Spence, just make it. He's confident he wants to make it. Lomachenko. Oh, Teofimo needs a belt. And that's acceptable. That's people. Oh, yeah, he's right. Teofimo needs a belt. Why Teofimo need a belt? So why can't Errol Spence continue to grow his brand, rack up the belts, and prove, hey, I'm here to stay, and then Crawford fight him? So now we know without a shadow of a doubt Errol Spence is that dude, because Sean Porter, that ain't a Mikey Garcia fight. That ain't a person coming up 2 weight classes. Sean Porter fought at 165 as an amateur. You know? So if it's all about, oh, we want to see the Teofimo Lomachenko fight when we know Teofimo's ready, then why don't we see Errol Spence try to run through his side, see if he emerges, and then if he does, he'll have all the belts. So now we know what we're getting. We're getting an undisputed Terence Crawford, keep doing what he's doing, and the absolute best versus the best. But they don't want that. You see, with the black fight, they just want to run. Oh, make it right now. Why? Why Crawford Spence got to happen right away? But Crawford, why don't you have the same urgency and pepper your step to make Wilder Fury? They were in negotiations, 50-50 split. You could have did the same joint promotion that Arum is saying that he'll offer for Spence and Crawford. Why did you try to get Deontay Wilder to come to ESPN exclusively? And he would have had to leave, Showtime behind for a couple fights. It's bullshit. And y'all know it, and I keep exposing it time and time again. How come, allegedly, Bob Arum is willing to co-promote ESPN, Showtime, or Fox for Spence versus Crawford, but there's a fight that we already seen and got a taste of, we're left on a cliffhanger with no closure in Wilder Fury? You're trying to give Tyson Fury tune-ups, and you offered Wilder a deal that would see him come to ESPN. So why don't you do the joint promotion there? Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all don't know shit about boxing. I'm fucking the game up. I told y'all didn't want this year. I'm coming with the Il Nana, that heat. Because Bob don't care if Crawford lose, or he's willing to risk it. But for some reason, he thinks Lomachenko, who's better than Muhammad Ali, he wants to, I don't know, extend it and let Lomachenko acclimate at lightweight, and he's never rushed into an immediate fight. Funny how that works, huh? I get what you're saying now. Appreciate you. So, like, the thing I'm hearing with Lomachenko Teofimo, and you know what's disrespectful about this whole situation? They acted like Lomachenko got 40 fights or something. Like, who is Lomachenko with 15 fights to be telling another dude he ain't got no fights? What? How is a motherfucker with 15 fights, 16 fights going to tell a motherfucker with 11 fights, oh, you ain't done shit? And this is acceptable to y'all. How a person with 16 fights or whatever, 15 fights, whatever Loma has, telling the person with 10 fights, man, you ain't done shit. That's like a motherfucker got the clap, and I'm like, man, look at this motherfucker got the clap, and I'm sitting up here with gonorrhea and herpes and shit. What the fuck? What do I look like saying, you know, clap on? Like, it doesn't even make sense, bro. This motherfucker got syphilis. Like, motherfucker, you got gonorrhea. What you talking about? Like a meth head telling a crackhead you a drug addict. What y'all talking about? Yo, don't watch my shit. This is too advanced. You know, fucking meth head got scabs and shit. Oh, look at this crackhead with no teeth. Motherfucker, you ain't got no teeth either, and you got scabs. He don't got no teeth, and he bug his eyes bug the fuck out. You ain't got no teeth either, and you got scabs. And you think bugs is on you and shit. What are we talking about? How is Lomachenko got 15 fights telling another motherfucker he ain't got enough fights, and he got a loss in there? This is uncanny. I never heard of no shit like this. I never heard. I really haven't. You see, y'all laughing. I'm being dead ass serious. I never heard no shit like this. That's like Lil Boombox telling Lil Pumpty that man, look at this mumble rapper. Motherfucker, you Lil Pumpty. How you gonna tell Lil Boombox, how Lil Pumpty gonna tell Lil Boombox he a mumble rapper? Your name is Lil Pumpty. It doesn't make sense, bro. Look at this mumble rapper. What the fuck is you? This shit is crazy. And y'all accept this. Man, I don't give a fuck about Canelo and Jacobs right now. I'm hot. Cause this is the bullshit. Yeah, little Pumpty and shit. Y'all crazy. John Candy telling Chris Farley he need to lose weight. What the fuck is this even? So Uncle Buck telling Tommy Boy he need to lose weight. Y'all got me fucked up, bro. Y'all really do. Ego, you work more than me, and I'm a truck driver. Love the channel, best in the game. Shout out to Jose, I appreciate you. Fucking Alexander Povetkin calling Gerald Miller. Heard you failed the test, you cheating motherfucker. Bruh, Povetkin telling Miller you a heavyweight cheating ass motherfucker. This don't make sense to me, bro. So Povetkin go call Gerald Miller. Heard you motherfucker, heard you got busted. You a cheating ass heavyweight. So Povetkin gonna call Gerald Miller a cheater. He failed 2 tests in a year too. Oh my gosh. This shit crazy. This shit crazy. Lomachenko talking about you ain't got enough fights to fuck with me. But y'all protect this shit. This is what y'all like to. Y'all some protect. Tony Jaa, the protector. Y'all some protected. Y'all some saran wrap. Shrink wrap. Y'all some protective ass. Stop it. The analogy king, the stream king. Y'all know what I do. I shut shit down. This don't make sense. Lomachenko got like 15 fights. Like Teofimo got like 11, 12 fights, and Loma got like 15 fights. You ain't got enough fights to fuck with me. Like a 15-year-old telling a 12-year-old, you ain't grown, motherfucker. You ain't grown either. You 15, I'm 12 and a half. We both some preteens out this bitch. You ain't grown. Motherfucker, you ain't grown. None of us grown. Domino's Pizza telling Church's chicken they greasy. Ain't that a bitch? Domino's Pizza going, tell Churches they greasy. Like, motherfucker, if y'all order Domino's, that should be greasy. Domino's gonna tell Church's chicken they greasy. Man, y'all got some greasy ass food. Motherfucker, you got some greasy ass food. We both greasy. I gotta say it like Ice Cube. Man, we both greasy. Hell no. We both greasy. What you talking about? Y'all both greasy. Y'all got some greasy ass food. Y'all need Y'all need to stop, bro. I told you, old media is getting clapped where they lay, where they stand. Hey, man, we not playing no games, bro. We not playing no games. And y'all settle for this. Like I said, Crawford's a beast, but what Arum's doing, I don't see how it's gonna work. I don't see how it's gonna work. It's not a good look. He said McDonald's gonna tell BK, Burger King, they ain't got spicy nuggets though. Yeah, these do. Yeah, man. This is crazy. So anyway, y'all know none of this shit makes sense. Y'all be trying to, like I said, how is it with Lomachenko? He want to unify. He gets served up all the fights he want. That helps him realize that. Crawford said he want to unify, but Arum is telling the world that he ain't making 2 of 3 fights. He not making 3 fights, 2 of which are champions in unifications. And he's just screaming this Errol Spence shit. See, I break shit down. And if you hear anybody repeat this, no, I'm the first that did it. I'm the first one that said this. I ain't heard nobody saying this. But now, watch these fighters and other people, because this always happens with my shit. Reporters and other channels and other people in the industry and promoters start running with tweeting my shit, and never giving credit conveniently. But y'all know who said this shit first. Once again, Crawford says he wants to be undisputed. How can he realize that dream if 2 champions out of 3 good fights, Bob Arum is saying those aren't good fights, they're not really fights, I'm not making them. He says Kell Brook would be fun. Kell Brook ain't got no damn belt. He says, the other guys Heyman has, I'm not really interested in. So it's about what Bob Arum is interested in. Sean Porter isn't a real fight for Crawford. Danny Garcia is not a real fight. Keith Thurman isn't. That's 2 champions. Keith Thurman, WBA super champion. Sean Porter, WBC champion. Bob Arum is capping. He's wrong. He's dead wrong in here. And then Danny Garcia is just a good fight. And he's a big name. You could put in the East Coast. It'll sell no problem. And he's coming off of a good performance. And how you going to sleep on Danny Garcia and he slapped Khan? I said, how you going to sleep on DSG and DSG slept Amir Khan? That's who Crawford just fought. See, now I'm not trying to pick apart Crawford because I really respect Crawford the fighter. I really respect him. I was content watching. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with the Khan fight. But if Arum is using that angle, then that doesn't make sense. I gave Crawford credit for beating Khan because he made him quit. No one else has done that. But again, if your logic is Danny is not a real fight for him, then how is Khan a real fight for him? When we know Danny's chin is better than Khan's, and we know Danny slept Khan. So how do you feel comfortable charging $70 pay-per-view to build a card around Crawford Khan, who got slept by Danny. And we know Danny, his losses are more respectable and less shocking than all of Khan's losses. Name one Khan loss. I guess Lamont Peterson maybe. So let's compare losses. Danny versus Keith Thurman or Sean Porter, how he lost, or how Khan lost to Bradis Prescott, Canelo, Lamont Peterson. What were harsher losses? And then now Crawford. So none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. And then he just told you that Kell Brook is a good fight. How is Crawford going to realize his dream of being undisputed in both divisions at different times if Bob Arum's openly telling the public, confidently, calmly, nobody's questioning it, and saying, hey, I don't want him to unify with Sean Porter because it's not a real fight. I don't want him to fight Keith Thurman. It's not a real fight. When at the Ndongo fight that I went to, Crawford called out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is still undefeated. So now Keith Thurman's just off the table because Bob Arum said so. Then Crawford could never realize his dreams. So all you guys, you old media, I told you, you're going to have to put your best foot forward, and y'all going to have to start making sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure your arguments make some sense. If they don't make no damn sense, they getting chewed up. Real talk. They getting chewed up. So good luck to old media. All these little diversion tactics and stuff. If your argument does I told you right now, I'm next level. It's like Floyd. I'm feeling like Floyd when it comes to these debates and stuff. So bring your old media, bring your best arguments. Try to counter it. But I'm on some Floyd shit. So bring your best arguments, because the shit you saying, too many loopholes, like Swiss cheese. You getting Swiss cheesed up, too many holes in this argument. Danny don't make sense, but the guy Danny knocked out who looked horrible versus Samuel Vargas, a guy Danny knocked out, that made all the sense in the world for a $70 pay-per-view. But you're not interested in making a Danny fight. And Khan wasn't no mandatory, so we can't play that game. It wasn't Crawford's mandatory to fight Khan. So let me get this straight. Danny can knock out Khan and the guy who made Khan look bad, Samuel Vargas, and look good versus Granados, who Broner and Sean Porter and Felix Diaz didn't necessarily look great for, and none of them stopped him. And Amir Imam, who I think he's with Don King, he got stopped by Granados, right? And Danny became the first to stop him. That don't make sense. But Crawford could just fight Khan, who Danny knocked out, the guy that made Khan look bad and knocked him down in his fight before the Crawford, Samuel Vargas. This stuff doesn't make sense. Like I said, my job is done. Old media, pack it in. It's over. It's over for you guys. You guys keep coming, trying to pander and create these weird narratives, this weirdo shit that you think incites and creates a riot. We putting the fire out quick. This ain't no backdraft. This isn't no 4-alarm fire. This shit is a trash can fire. In the teacher's room, a little trash can, you just get the fire extinguisher, just, that shit's over. This ain't no 4-alarm shit. This ain't no forest fire. This shit is easy. This is what old media is notorious for. They put these small fires and try to burn them and then, hope something lasts. But we putting out all the fires. Fire extinguisher. We the firemen. So old media think they slick. Yeah, they think they slick. Listen, we'll do a national debate. Let's put some money up. You tell me how Danny Garcia, Sean Porter unification, and Keith Thurman unification are terrible fights to make, 2 of which are champions. But Kell Brook, who didn't even look good in his last fight, who has 2 damaged eyes, who lied and said he couldn't make 147 and now is trying to come back to 47 when Swift Jared Hurd is on him, when Jermell Charlo is on him, and he didn't even look good in his last fight. Tell me how that makes sense more so than these other guys. Good luck. Do your homework. But you got to know some boxing because you guys getting ate. I promise you that. Baptism season is among us. And the funny thing is this. Just the last thing in closing. Old media, you guys know your homework assignment. Eagles Army, this is out to y'all. Don't listen to just my words. See if it makes sense to you, right? Because old media, the trick that they're famous for is this. Even though Ego is dropping heat rocks and explaining, giving factual examples like Danny Garcia did knock out Samuel Vargas in Philly. You can test these things. You could go to BoxRec, do your research. At the Licorice Center or whatever in Philly, Danny knocked him out. Errol Spence knocked him out. That guy gave Khan problems. Khan, in the build-up to Crawford, was saying, oh, yeah, I think Crawford, he's looking at my last fight. You know, I wasn't myself. It's hard to get up for guys like Samuel Vargas because I just, but this fight's different. He was even talking about that. Danny knocked out Amir Khan. We all know that. And Bob Arum is eliminating him and saying it's only Errol Spence. Errol Spence or bust, which I told you from the beginning makes no sense. Why is it just Errol Spence out of all the PBC guys, knowing they have top welterweights? I would rather see Berto versus Crawford than Mean Machine and Crawford. Me personally. I would rather see Devin Alexander and Crawford over Mean Machine because I know more about those guys. I'd rather see Broner and Crawford over Mean Machine because I know more about those guys and I think they would be bigger events. So once again, why is it Errol Spence Jr. or fuck everyone on PBC that's a welterweight that Crawford could fight? We don't want none of them but one guy. Stop it. Capping. You know when you drink that 2 liter of soda, 7 Up, and you screw it back, capping. He's capping. There's no reasonable argument that anyone has substantiated, smash the like button, where that makes sense. And then have the audacity to pitch us Kell Brook over that. Capping. You got in the way of Wilder Fury 2 from happening, but you want the best versus the best. That fight needed closure. That fight needed an immediate rematch. Capping. Terence Crawford said he wants to be undisputed, which I believe. He did it before at 140. He wants that. But you want to eliminate reasonable champions and former champions from his resume. But you're willing to make Jose Benavidez, who got shot in the leg, was inactive, and fought low-level competition before the Crawford fight, to get him ready for a Crawford fight. So you could pitch us that. And see, this is the thing. I went to that fight. I had no problems with stuff like that. But if you're going to say Danny Garcia is a trash fight, Sean Porter is a trash fight, Keith Thurman is a trash fight, then that puts everything in a whole different perspective. Yeah, shout out to Rolly Romero. He has a knockout of the year, one of them so far. It was crazy. The dude was leaking. I seen it though. Make sure you guys support my dude. He wants to fight Ryan Garcia. He got power. I'm gonna link up with him when I go to Vegas again. I'll link up and get some new stuff. Yeah, he got a body. He has an awkward style too. He's kind of like a Maidana-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like he throws awkward, but he has a lot of power. And I'm sure that gains confidence and stuff. And I see Mayweather Promotions putting him on cards more and stuff. So that's all good. So shout out to my dude Rolly. I told him I got him. I was gonna help him. Get exposure on my channel, and I put out that thing, better late than never, and it got a lot of views and stuff, so I'm sure this is helping them get seen. So yeah, I'm always willing to work with these young cats and help them on their journey on my channel. But yeah, man, this stuff don't make sense. And like I said before, if Bob Arum wants the best versus the best, he has some good fights he can make without even bothering Al Heyman. So why can't we see those? Why can't we see Teofimo versus Lomachenko? Why can't I see Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez? Carl Frampton versus Shakur Stevenson. Beterbiev versus Alexander Vodstik in a unification. Instead of Vodstik versus Gumbo or whatever the dude's name, Matumbo, Gumbo, whatever a guy's name is, in Philly. Gerald Wick says, you put me on Rolly for show. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, Rolly got smoked, bro. He knocked dude out bad. They put him in a stretcher in the ring. They're like, damn. They had to make sure. He got slid. That's what we say in the Bay. He got slid, bro. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys could listen to whatever, but what Bob Arum's saying, I took that argument and ripped it to shreds. So, you know, like I said, the only thing, old media, they got their homework assignment. Come with better arguments than what I'm making. Cool. But for New Media Eagles Army, support was real. I keep saying that. These other motherfuckers in box, stop. Since motherfuckers want to hate, stop watching shit that you know is nonsense. See, me, unlike Bob Arum, I ain't no hater. So I'm not telling you specifically who not to watch and who to watch. I'm saying the people who I know get it and understand boxing, stop even clicking and engaging in comments on the stuff that's bullshit. We drying, I promise you, we are drying them out this year, leaving them hanging out to dry. If they succeed and they can somehow, you know, manage to pull through, then that's cool. That's what they did. You know, they worked for it. But they're not going to make names off the backs of us. We drying them out. I want to flatline their vitals. That is my goal for all year. I want to flatline them. And the best way to do it is pay no attention. They pay attention to us. They pay attention to what we doing. Stop. You know who's real. You know who's saying real fact. So when you go to certain videos and motherfuckers is screaming and, you know, saying this craziness and this craziness, you know who's telling you real stuff. You know who's just like clickbaiting to try to incite a riot and get comment. You know, support was real. That's what it is. We're going to flatline them this year. We're going to make it hard to, like Cassidy said, I'm about to make it hard to eat like toothpaste. My flow dope like I go in the booth and shoot bass. We about to make it hard to eat like toothpaste. Like cavity fillings. I happen to be killing. Let's get it. Ego, what's up with Bradley trying to step up to Arrow? He gonna get slid. I don't know about that. Yeah, Arrow gonna knock that eyebrow off. Tim Bradley got that sharp ass eyebrow. He gonna get that brushed off real quick. I like Bradley, but his commentary's, you know, not necessarily my thing. But I like Bradley the fighter. I don't know. Coming out of retirement, he said Amir Khan or him. Amir Khan looked bad, so that it looks like Bradley Khan is probably dead in the water. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't want to come out of retirement and fight. See, that's like the Mikey shit. I see something. All right. I wouldn't want to come out. I would at least, if Bradley does come back, he should take tune-ups, you know. Fight Maidana at any weight, you know. Fight Maidana or something. That would actually be a good fight. Maidana and Bradley. Do a catch weight of like 152 or something, you know. Because Maidana's trying to taper down. That'd be a good fight. I would watch that. Bradley versus Maidana. I ain't lying. But I wouldn't come back and fight Arrow straight off the rip. Hell no. Not if I was Bradley. And see, honestly, this is my thing. Sometimes these fighters have like little personal conversations and like little just in personal beefs and shit like that. See, me, I'm neutral. I don't have a problem with anyone in the game. Like, I don't have no issue. I don't have no like deep-seated, rooted hatred or whatever where I'm rooting for someone. So when I give you commentary, I'm just telling you what I see. I'm just telling you what I see in the game. You know, if someone takes offense to something I say, then that's it. Whatever. I'm a grown man. People can holler at me, whatever, and tell me what I said that was a lie or that they didn't agree with. But see, that's why even fighters sometimes don't get it right when it comes to commentary, because they have personal ingrained, like, disdain for certain fighters or certain styles. Like Ray Mancini, some of his commentary is like, whoa. Like, he's a fighter, and he be saying some weird stuff to me. You know, he's like, yeah, Joey Spencer, he needs to do this, and you know, the guy's tough, but he needs to knock him out. What are you talking about? So you're admitting the guy's real tough. You know, Joey Spencer's like early on in his career, and you talking about, yeah, you gotta get guys like this out of here. You gotta get him out of here, but. He's real tough. He's never been stopped. What are you talking about then? So the dude never been stopped, or he's real tough, but you trying to force the issue and say he got to get a knockout. Like, that just, commentary like that is irks me because it don't even make sense. It's like talking in circles. You're acknowledging the guy's real tough and hard to get out of there, and you're expecting a prospect to, you know, just destroy him or whatever. They got to learn their styles and shit. Yeah, sometimes former fighters be too close and personal with some fighters and not others. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's behind the scenes shit or styles that look like their styles and they rock with more. I don't be doing all that. Just like I said, I'm not saying I'm greater than actual legends in the game, but what I'm saying is I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but George Foreman and Sugar Ray Leonard and people like that were saying Mikey. Oh yeah, I'm picking Mikey over Spence because he's Mikey. You ain't never heard me do no prediction like that. I told you Spence was gonna win. I don't know what Mikey sees, but he gonna have to show me what he sees. I said the same thing post fight that I said. I said the same thing post fight that I said pre fight. The suffix and the prefix was the same shit on my channel. Sugar Ray was like, "Hey, I didn't mean it like that." I didn't have to backtrack. Sugar Ray's a legend in the game, but he's the one that had to. Oh no, I think you misconstrued. I didn't have to do nothing. All I did is another day at the office. You know, congrats Errol. Shout out to Mikey for trying, and told y'all. That's all I had to do. So, once again, you could be a fighter, but that don't mean you omnipotent. Ooh, that vocabulary. What y'all know about the? That's the word of the day. Omnipotent. See, they didn't know. See. That's what I'm saying. We could do it on some street shit. You know, we want to do it academically. I got a little bit of everything. That's the word of the day. Omnipotent. Your boy got the vocab. New media. Yeah, so anyway, Bob Arum, honestly, to me, Bob Arum is kind of getting in the way of Crawford. He's saying he wants undisputed, but then you're as his promoter saying you're not interested in 2 fights out of 3, which would all be fan-friendly fights, and 2 of which would be unifications. That's kind of a problem. That's like a kind of a disconnect. Yeah, that's Rolly's trainer, the black dude with the dreads. Yeah, he's a cool dude. That's kind of a disconnect. Crawford said he want undisputed, and you're saying these unifications aren't fights you're interested in making. You only want Spence. So how are you going to be undisputed? Once again, it makes no sense, but Bob Arum's trying to incite a riot and, you know, make people feel Al Heyman's racist or whatever he's doing, saying he's telling Spence not to work with a white promoter and all that. Like, I mean, I don't know people's business, but Errol Spence's kids look mixed. So, you know, I don't know, bro. It just, I hate when people, see, the funny thing, when black folk play the race card, they're not even playing the race card. They just telling you what the fuck is going on. More often than not. I'm not saying every single black person. I can't be responsible for everything every black person done said. I can't be held accountable for everything a black person did. But by and large, oftentimes what I've seen is when black people are saying, hey, police brutality, Black Lives Matter, they're telling you what they're seeing on the day-to-day struggle. You know, they're telling you what they're seeing on the news and cops ran up on this car. I just seen it the other day. Cops hopped out the police whip. The car was still in reverse and start bop, 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 and start spraying, and the girl got hit. And then they found no weapons in the car, and they talking about she made a move or some stupid shit like Bishop. They're like, why'd you do that? Why? And then the cop ran off after he started dumping. Like, what cop shoots at a car and then runs? You should be trying to, like, what are you running for? So the killer mad? Like, let's say it was a killer in that. You done sprayed up his whip and he's still alive. So the killer just gets out the whip and angry and start, shooting down shit, knocking shit down. Like, who runs? Why would you run away? I don't even understand it. They hopped out the whip and said, bah, 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 and lit up the car, and the girl got hit. So, again, the video, I got to look up what the title of the video or where it was. That shit was disgusting. But anyway, bottom line, what I'm saying is when black people bring up a lot of these issues, it's stuff that they see on the day-to-day, stuff they're seeing on the news, disturbing stuff. When Bob Arum, a Jewish male, just brought up something, and it's like, what's the basis? Where did you get that Al Heyman won't work with, like, what is that based on? Like, how you can't just suggest things with no proof or nothing? Block Marvelous Martin. It's whatever the fuck I want it to be. And we don't want you here. Block Marvelous Martin. Get him the fuck up out of here. You a op. I already know that. Get these rats out of here. We set traps for you rats. I love setting traps for the rats. See? He's like, is this a box? It's because they don't want you to talk about it. Because it's real life stuff and they know they wrong. And they know they racist and shit. So they just try to hurry. Oh, come on. I thought this was about boxing. Oh, get back. Man, fuck you. Get off my shit. It's my channel. You go talk about what you want to talk about. Go to your spot. Go to your page. You live stream and talk about Star Wars or Avengers Endgame, whatever you want to talk about. I talk about what I want to talk about on my shit. Boxingego, your channel is fire and underrated to say the least. However, I have work at 8 a.m. So nonetheless, your podcast was great and entertaining. Anyway, good night to the true and non-biased. Appreciate you. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Sterling said, we've been doing nothing but talking boxing on this stream. That's what I'm saying. I've been on for 2.5 hours. I talked about a race issue that had nothing to do with boxing for all but 2 minutes, and dumbass come out the woodwork. Oh, I thought this was boxing. Well, I thought you were in here until my shooters got you. See, old media is losing power rapidly. They know this shit don't fly. They have no recourse. They have nothing they could do. They can't stop it. They can't stop the message. They can't stop me. They can't, it's just they struggling. I'm at work right now listening to Ego. That's part of my job description. Hey, you tripping. That's funny, though. So, yeah, anyway, Bob Arum playing the race card. That's playing the race card, because what has Al Heyman done to show that he's not willing to work with a white promoter, as he said? He worked with Eddie Hearn before, He sent people to meet up with Eddie Hearn trying to push for the Joshua fight. He works with Shelly Finkel, who's, powdered donut white. He works with Lou DiBella, Tom Brown, Brittany Goosen. What are we talking about? See, that's what I'm saying. Old media is losing power because for once in the digital age and with new media around, they can't just say this stuff. They can't just say the stuff and we just eat it up and consume it and they just run off into the abyss, people just, oh yeah, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence is ducking. You could say it, but you're not. We've already shot down the argument. We've already explained why. We already explained the different sides. We already ran through it. And like I said, to me, you guys don't have to listen to me, but what Bob Arum's doing sounds, and it makes it sound like desperate, and that's not a good position to be in. And like I said, what part of the game is it where you offend people, berate them, and slander them, and accuse them of stuff, and then you expect to make a big fight with them when they don't have to make it and they don't need you? Just tell me. So that's why I keep saying it. If anything, Bob Arum is hurting the situation because Crawford is caught in the crossfire. Oof. Crawford, my shit was fucked up. I say stuff and it's like alliteration. See, I told you I got that vocab. It's alliteration, like Peter Piper picked a peck of pip. You know, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a wood could? Shit like that. It's alliteration. Terence Crawford, yeah, that tongue twister shit. Hey, I got one for y'all. Say toy boat, toy, like little kids, toy and boat 3 times fast. See if you can do it. Let me know if y'all can do that right now. But don't lie and don't say it wrong. Say toy boat 3 times fast, like toy boat, like. Let's hear it. I want to tell me if you did it. Toy boat 3 times fast, like no. That's fast. Let me know if you did it first or second try. Don't lie too. He said I fucked that up each time. See? Look, yeah, don't lie. I like the people not lying. Try it. Smash the like button and try that. Say toy boat 3 times fast. He said toy bay. See, that's what I'm saying. It'd be fucked up. You be like toy boy, like what the fuck? Sean said he messed up. That's funny. Got me sounding like a toddler with the lisp. This is funny because I know everybody's fucking it up. It's hard. It's like it's like one of those proven ones that are hard to get off. Toy boat. Ooh. See, I'm advanced with this shit. I'm advanced. You gotta just gun it. You gotta, cause y'all motherfuckers be toy boy. Nah, you gotta say it. Toy boat. Just whatever. You have to bada like the mumble rappers. Toy boat. I bet do it with the toy boat. Y'all gotta practice. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Arum is like, if anything, what he's doing could be hindering Crawford, because Crawford could be racking up reasonable names, reasonable bodies, reasonable doubt, like Jay-Z album. He could be doing that. Danny Garcia is a reasonable bout. He'll make good money. I'll give him props if he beats Danny Garcia, or if he stopped Danny Garcia or some shit. Of course he's gonna get props. You know what I'm saying? And then Bob Arum saying no to all of that. So how is he gonna realize his dreams? Like I said, if you piss off people that don't necessarily have to work with you, you know, whether it's right for boxing or not, I'm not even gonna get into that, because like I said, everyone wants to play boxing savior, like they're so heroic and noble, like this shit ain't been going on. But anyway, the bottom line is him accusing Heyman of only not wanting to work with white promoters and all this, and saying he ruined boxing, cancer, he's not a real person. See, Errol called him out. Remember when he was with Terence Crawford? Crawford had that red shit on, and then he was like, he said Al didn't exist. He said Al Heyman didn't exist. And then Aaron was like, why? What did you say? And he said, you said Al Heyman didn't exist. You said, keep that same energy. You said Al didn't exist. Man down. Oh, we doing a marathon. He said he did his homework, housework, and the trash, and I'm still killing. Man, I told you, we killing boxing. We doing it. We doing it this year. Yeah, man. Like I said, none of these points are justified. None of these arguments make sense. Old media, they're the ones that have to. I told you, I could do this all day, bro. They're not going to be able to beat me. They can't do this because a lot of these motherfuckers got jobs and stuff. They're not making no money in boxing. Stop playing with me. I know because I've been at all levels of this YouTube shit. I know who making money and who not. I know who's getting respect, you know. Old media, they cannot keep up because the biggest thing, they're not tell the truth. Tell the truth. They're not telling the truth. So how you gonna keep up? You got a job, I don't. I could, you know, I mean, this is my job. So I could just do this all round the clock. Wake up, do this, go get some donuts, you know, whatever. Get my iced coffee. Real brother clapped that he clapped it so fast. Oh my God. Bro, the dude the dude said ego don't get no pussy. You know they capping. That's my cue. Thank you guys for coming out. And the funny thing, no, I know real brother he clapped him so quick too. I was proud. I thought he was saying cool shit because he started off saying something like nice and then he switched to the weirdo shit. How do they know what I stick my dick in? Like, how do you, like, real talk. See, I could talk. I could cut. They want to say shit, fuck, damn, like me. How they know what pussy I'm getting? That's what I want to know. These dudes don't even have my phone number. No dialogue. Don't know none of the same people I know. Because I don't associate with people that associate with bums. So how they know that? How they know what I got going on? Exactly. So on that note, old media, if you knew better, you would do better. Please, y'all looking crazy. Oh, ego don't get no pussy. All right. Believe that if you want. That's what's up. And besides, what does that have to do with boxing? That's how you know. That's an admission to guilt. That's an admission to defeat. If you talk about my pussy rate instead of boxing, you getting killed. Everybody have a good night. Hope everyone had a good Easter. We working, people. Oh, yeah. I got swine on the seat. Oh, yeah. I got Jordans on my feet. Oh, yeah. And I'm out.